We're going to call this meeting to order. If everyone would rise for the invocation, and Reverend Bill Cornelius with Church Unlimited is going to lead us in the invocation. Then we will have the pledges after that. So thank you.
Thank you. It's an honor to be here. Father, thank you for this morning. Thank you that we get to be here. Lord, I thank you, God, that you are a God of justice and of fairness and of truth. And I pray that that will always prevail in this court. We thank you for each person that's here. Thank you for the service that they bring this community. Bless each person. Bless each issue and decision made. In your name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
Okay, we have all the commissioners present, one by Zoom, and today is June the 7th. It is 9:05, and we are meeting in the Nueces County Courtroom at 901 Leopard. Do we have any announcements on disclosures of conflicts of interest? There being none, we'll move on. If you have one later, you can always disclose at that time as well. Moving on to item E, E1, in recognition of Margaret Sawyer's 22 years of service to Nueces County. And I believe is the sheriff coming up, wants to speak? Yes.
Judge and commissioners, we're here to celebrate 22 years of public service by Margaret, and it was an amazing run. Come on up, man. So I'm here to say thank you.
Thank you.
And I'm here to say you're always welcome back. And I'm here to tell you that I'll pray for you and your family in the next part of your journey. And thank you. Hey, Daniel, come up here and speak a little bit. Or Captain Willoughby, somebody that was personally familiar with Margaret's service in our jail. Tell us a story.
Oh, no.
Just 22 years of very...
And the microphone, please.
22 years of dedicated service, ma'am. 22 years of dedicated service. Good hand all the time. That's it. 22 years.
We are very appreciative, very thankful for people who give so many years of their time and efforts like you, and apparently such well-respected friends that really believe in the job that was
Judge, I
performed.
think Deputy Garcia wants to share.
Sure.
Good morning, Judge Scott, Commissioner Mares, Commissioner Hernandez. Commissioner, I'm not going to say how long ago, because I don't want to say how many years it's been. But when I used to work patrol, I used to go and eat at a restaurant, and I would park my patrol car outside, and I'd go inside, and this young waitress would come by and take my order. And then sometimes she would say, "Hey, can I talk to you?" "Sure." And she would say, "Hey, what does it feel like to be a sheriff's deputy?" And I used to tell her, "It's great. I get to drive around in a patrol car around the county." "Oh, that's nice." I said, "Yeah." So, she would ask me a few more questions, and I'd have my dinner and leave. Then a few days later, I'd go back to the restaurant, and that waitress would come back and take my order, and she would say, "I want to ask you some more questions about your job. What else do you like about it?" And I used to tell her, "Well, I get paid, and I know that I have paid vacation and holidays." I said, "You can't beat it." "Hey, that's great." I said, "Yeah." So every time I would go to the restaurant, that waitress would come up and ask me questions. And one day I went back to the restaurant there to Pizza Hut that was on Woodlawn, and the waitress wasn't there. So I said, maybe she's off. So I went back another time. I didn't see her again. This happened about 2 or 3 other times. So finally I asked one of the waiters there. I said, "Hey, where's that young waitress?" "Oh, she left. She's gone." I said, "Oh, okay." So I felt sad. Well, one day I was at work, and I look, and there she is, wearing a sheriff's uniform. And let me tell you another little part of that story. She became my partner when we would take prisoners out of town to San Antonio, to Laredo. We would drop off prisoners and pick up prisoners and bring them back. And she was my partner, and we would do that. But I want to apologize to her here right now in front of everybody, because one time I did get us in trouble, and I'm sorry. We were coming back from Laredo, Texas. We had dropped off a prisoner, so we had no prisoners in the van. We were coming back, and on the side of the road, we see a lot of vehicles parked. So I said, Margaret, turn around, let's go back. Maybe they need our help. So we turned around, and there was a line of trucks parked. And we got down, and we said, is everything okay? And they said, yeah, we're having mechanical problems with some of our trucks. Oh, okay. So we looked, and it was a circus traveling. And we were getting ready to leave, and we looked, and they had an elephant. And I told Margaret, hey, Margaret, can you take a picture of me with the elephant? So Margaret took a picture of us with the elephant, and then put on there, hey, look what I found. Can I take it home? So sorry for getting us in trouble that time. But I want to say you were the best partner I had out there. You always came true. You always were there. And sometimes we had some prisoners that sometimes they get a little bit violent. And you would always pick up on my cue, and we would calm them down. So I really enjoyed having you, and we're gonna miss you very much, because you are a loss to the Sheriff Department. But we appreciate all the years of service that you gave us and the community for serving and protecting all of us. So thank you. Love you very much.
We have this for you also, if you'd like to take a photo or anything, or if we can just give you this. If the sheriff, if you would join us as well, please.
And your husband?
Uh-huh.
Does he want to come up?
One more. 1, 2, 3.
Congratulations. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much.
Congratulations. Thank you, Sheriff.
Good job. Photoshop, man.
And number 2, in recognition of Robert Leal's 23 years of service to Nueces County.
Robert, Elsa?
I'll say a few words on behalf of Sergeant Leal, Robert Leal. Unlike Margaret Sayers, I never really directly supervised her. I indirectly supervised her, and it's sad to see her go. But Robert Leal, as a young officer, was assigned to the shift that I was running in the jail. And I can say there is very, very few personable people that you get to supervise, and Robert Leal was one of those. We all kid him about his smile.
He's trying to hold it back right now.
His nickname is Smiley. And I've threatened to punch him to get rid of the smile, and he just laughs. And so it's a running joke, but he is one of the very, very few people that I've had the opportunity to supervise that it's sad to see him go. But I can get more stories, but we won't go there. But, good luck to Robert and his wife. She's still working. So, it's sad to see him go, especially with less time than I have. So, but anyway,
We very much appreciate that service and the time.
yes.
The sheriff, does he want to say
Yeah,
something?
and well, we had the one person that wanted to speak also. So.
Sergeant, y'all, I just want to say that your work ethic, your positivity, your smile is definitely going to be missed.
And personally, on behalf of my family, we thank you for you being such a blessing and coming into our life. And we pray that we get to see you more since you won't be at work so often. But congratulations on your retirement, and I'm really happy for you.
Perfect.
Hey, so you know what? Step up here, brother. So they nailed it, because when I became the sheriff 4 years ago, the first thing I noticed is what y'all are noticing now is when Robert walks into a room, he brightens it up. It's amazing, even in tough times, even during the pandemic, even during the hurricanes, even during everything we go through in that jail. Robert is a constant as far as being that happy warrior. That's who he is, and he will be missed. And I can only imagine. Let me just say this, Elsa. So Elsa is a director, supervisor, manager at the substance abuse treatment facility out there by the annex. She's been there a long time. And can you imagine, ladies, trying to be mad at your husband
When he's smiling.
when he does smiles? I mean, how can you even have an argument with a guy when he's smiling? So anyway, Robert, thank you very much, and I hope you seriously consider staying on with us as an unpaid deputy. Hey, seriously.
Sheriff, are you gonna consider staying on as an unpaid deputy?
Seriously now, T. Cole no longer acknowledges the term reserve deputy. It's called an unpaid deputy. And so Robert's going to consider that, I hope. All right, sweet. Thank you, brother. All right.
We would like to take a photo with you all as well,
Absolutely.
please.
Come on up.
Thank you, sir, for your service. Thank you for your service, sir.
Robert, thank you for your service, man. Thank you, John.
No one has to tell Robert to smile.
One more.
Congratulations, Rob.
Wait, $5.84 because I have to pay taxes. That's only got 3 by 4. That's got Melody on there too. But, oh well, you know.
In recognition of Corpus Christi's police officer Sean Barnes earning the 2023 Frank Adams Outstanding Volunteer Service Award. Congratulations, Officer Barnes. He was selected as the Frank Adams Award for Outstanding Volunteer Service. This award illustrates the outstanding work of Officer Barnes and the commitment Nueces County has placed toward mental health services and interventions to connect individuals to treatment and avoid unnecessary incarceration. This award will actually be officially presented to Officer Barnes at the annual.
Attention, please. A fire has been reported in the building. A fire has been reported in the building. Please proceed to the stairway and exit the building.
We're recessing. It 9:17.
I like to light a fire with them.
Don't go far.
Hey, it is 9:19. That was a false alarm. We are back in in recognition of Officer Sean Barnes. Thank you. I know I've already read this, but kind of the interruption is, this award is pretty outstanding for our community here. It is exceptional service and far-reaching in scope, diversified in effort, and over and above recognized at the local level. I understand he will be presented this officially at the annual Texas Conference in Houston on June 22nd, 2023. And please, everyone, help me in recognizing this outstanding service of this individual here locally in our community. Thank you. we would like to bring you up if you would like to say anything. We'd like to do a photo as well, and I'm sorry we will have to get this to you because Commissioner Gonzalez is out, and I know he will want his signature on this proclamation. So, but thank you very much for everything you do for our community.
Absolutely, and thank you for the invitation to be here this morning for that. I don't usually light fires in buildings. I'm trying to light a fire within everyone, right? But I really do appreciate y'all having me here to do this kind of like public announcement and whatnot. But besides the award in and of itself, really the nomination was like the honor of it. That was where I find like the honor in it, because really the award to me is affirmation. It's affirmation that our area is doing some really good things, because I'm just a composite of all the people around me, right? The Local Mental Health Authority, MHID, really adopted me a few years ago, and really helped build and nurture me as well. But on top of that, my employer, the Corpus Christi Police Department, and my boss, Chief Shower, they give me an absolute ridiculous amount of autonomy. They're just trusting I'm doing the right thing. And it's worked out a lot, because I'm able to get a lot more done. But then also, too, with all the other community partners. I've been in here before. You guys have heard what I've had to say a couple times, and y'all have all been very nice. Everyone here is action-focused, and I mean, like, everyone in this area is action-focused, all the partners involved. And that really leads me to a premonition. The premonition is this. Within probably the next 3 to 4 years, 5 at the most, I think our area is quite literally going to become the replicable template that is propagated across the state as the template to use for all the interrelated items that mental illness, substance misuse, homelessness, and the associated justice involvement. I'm almost absolutely certain of it. And so we'll see what happens what that looks like exactly, but it's going to happen. So anyway, that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Where my tie?
We'll Photoshop it in.
Can you make it a bow tie?
With polka dots.
I guess we can just leave it.
Yeah.
Like your inspiration for the future, too. I don't want you to lose me.
Don't worry.
Thank you. Thank you again, and well-deserved recognition. Moving on to item F, F1, and a recognition of the month of June as Elder Abuse Prevention Month. And Francis is going to read that proclamation.
In recognition of Elder Abuse Prevention Month, June 2023, whereas our elderly or disabled residents are vital and integral members of our society, and their wisdom and experience have enriched our lives. And whereas abuse of the elderly and people with disabilities in domestic and institutional settings is a widespread problem, affecting hundreds of thousands of people across the country. And whereas in 2022 there were 119,448 completed cases of elderly and disabled persons abused in Texas, of which 84,655 were confirmed. And whereas elder abuse is grossly underreported because the elderly who are being abused find it very difficult to tell anyone and are usually ashamed and sometimes afraid. And whereas elder abuse happens to men and women of all income levels, all cultural and ethnic groups, whether they are in good health or incapacitated in some way, in poor neighborhoods and in suburbia, and whereas many of the cases investigated by Adult Protective Services in Texas involve self-neglect, and it is our duty as citizens to reach out to people in need. Now therefore, be it resolved that the Commissioners Court of Nueces County does hereby proclaim the month of June 2023 to be Elder Abuse Prevention Month. In Nueces County, and urge all citizens to work together to help reduce abuse and neglect of people who are elderly or have disabilities.
Do I have a motion?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed, same sign. Thank you. The motion passes, and I see we have some people here. Does anyone wish to speak on this?
I'm an aye of that, Judge.
Yes. Oh, sorry, I forget you're a little delayed. Yes, thank you.
Good morning. Thank you, Judge Scott and Commissioners. My name is Natalie Maldonado. I am a supervisor with Adult Protective Services, and I just want to thank you for proclaiming June as Elder Abuse Awareness Month here in our county. On behalf of our program, we remain focused on raising awareness of elder abuse. On behalf of our program, we would like to thank all our first responders, our judicial partners for their continued support in helping us carry out our mission. I would also like to recognize our team, if you can please stand up. Our team works tirelessly day in, day out, and I'm so proud of them. And we would just like to remind the community to report abuse, neglect, or financial exploitation. As it was mentioned earlier, it is very underreported. Our hotline is 800-252-5400, and can also report online at www.txabusehotline.org. And thank you for recognizing this very important mission of ours.
We have a resolution for you as well, but as such, I know Commissioner Gonzalez will want his signature on it, and unfortunately, he's been out for a few weeks recovering from surgery, so we have this and we will get it to your organization. Would y'all like to come up and do a photo with the group, or y'all?
We would.
Yes,
Yes.
we're happy to
Thank
do
you.
so, yes.
Thank you all very much.
Thank you. Thank you for your service. Thank y'all do.
I know.
You've been gone a while. Yeah, John's been there forever. John was like a sheriff's deputy way back in the day, remember? Yeah.
And next, item 2, in recognition of Corpus Christi United Little Miss Kickball hosting the 52nd Annual State All-Star Tournament, June the 30th to July 2nd, and this is out at the Oil Belt Little League fields. You want to read the proclamation, please?
In recognition of the Corpus Christi United Little Miss Kickball All-Stars 2023, Whereas Corpus Christi United Little Miss Kickball is a nonprofit organization that specializes in and promotes female empowerment for girls of all ages throughout the Nueces County community. And whereas Little Miss Kickball began in the 1970s to provide more opportunities for young girls to get involved in sports at a time where the options and access for them were still limited. And whereas in doing so, Little Miss Kickball has been providing the young girls of Nueces County not just an opportunity to participate in a sport, but also to reap all the benefits that children get from participating in a sport. And whereas throughout the years, research has proven that children who participate in sports have improved social skills, a better understanding of social responsibility, that teamwork and effective communication helps solve problems and accomplish shared goals, and seeing their hard work pay off help to grow their self-confidence. And whereas while Little Miss Kickball originated in Corpus Christi in 1970, it has grown and is now played in 15 leagues throughout the state of Texas, including Alice, Austin, Brownsville, Fort Worth, and Robstown. And whereas the regular season schedule, which extends into June, includes league games and tournaments matching teams from various leagues. The program concludes with a state tournament pairing all-star teams from the different leagues during the July 4th weekend. And now, therefore, let it be resolved that the Commissioner Court of Nueces County does hereby recognize the hard work of the Corpus Christi United Little Miss Kickball League players, coaches, and parents, and further congratulates them on being chosen to host the 2023 All-Star Tournament the weekend of June 30th of 2023, and bringing the Little Miss Kickball Leagues throughout Texas to visit our beautiful community.
So moved, Judge.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Commissioner Gonzalez, are you an aye?
I'm an aye now.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
You're doing good on there.
We have also the same proclamation or resolution that needs to be signed by Commissioner Gonzalez. He is out, so we will get that to you. I don't know if there's anyone here that wishes to speak on behalf.
Hello.
I'll try to get those signed by tomorrow, Judge.
Okay, thank you.
I have to wait.
Yes, hello, my name is Ronald Allen. I'm the president of Corpus Christi United Little Miss Kickball. Everything she said, I mean, she kind of stole my thunder on some of the things that I was going to say. But we are very, very excited to host the 52nd annual State All-Star Tournament in Corpus Christi at our league. This is the first time we've ever been chosen to host the league. And, you know, we're out at not at Oil Belt, we're out at Billwood Park.
Oh, I had oil belt in my notes. Darn.
But we've been there, we've been as a league, this is our 21st year as a league.
Awesome.
So we're really looking forward to it, real excited, and just ready to go. This is Annette Wiley, this is my personal relations coordinator for the league, and I'll let her go ahead and speak and say a couple of things.
Good morning, thank you for allowing us to be here. I will be the new president of the league. I beat him in an election, so I have to rub that in. Great president, sorry. But I have been a coach out there for 9 years. This is my daughter right here. I've been coaching her since she was peewee, and now she's in the senior division. We have a great group of parents, coaches, players. We've watched them grown. We're a family. We're a very tight-knit community. We meet other leagues, other representatives from the leagues, other players. So kickball, a lot of people were thinking like, what is kickball? Well, it's not the yellow ball, or it's not the red ball that you buy at the sports store. We play with the yellow ball. It's a combination of baseball, soccer, and bowling is what I say, because we got a pitcher that rolls a ball, bases, running, so forth. So if you don't know about kickball, we would love for y'all to go out there and watch us at Bill Witt. We do practice. We start off from the ages of 5 all the way up into 18. We also do some high school scholarships for our graduating seniors. So a lot of this is nonprofit organization. We do ask for donations and sponsors. It is a time-consuming effort. Since we're nonprofit, we do have a lot of volunteers, a lot of parents that love our league. This year, our league was hit very hard. I'm sorry. One of our very own players was in a tragic accident, or not accident, in a homicide. And she was a very important person to our league. Her parents, her grandparents, her players, everybody was affected by this. We want to honor her name, and we want to continue it. Araya Ruiz, 15 years old. So we want to make sure that her name, her legacy is always continued with our league and our community. We have her grandparents here, amazing people. We have some players, not everybody who could come because it was a short notice for us, but we're here. And we would like the community's help with anything. They can reach out to Ron, they can reach out to me. We have, on our website, we want to make sure that our league is well represented in honor of Araya. We want to keep her legacy, not just now, but forever. Thank you.
We understand and we thank you. We appreciate it. We have one more person.
Yes, I'm sorry.
So my name's Pauline Serta. I'm actually a coach at another league, but I just want to honor Ron. I know that they're proud, and Annette. I know that they're very proud to have the All-Stars hosted at their site, because Facebook has been showing that Ron and all his board have been putting in the work to get their fields ready, by having them look nice, having everything arranged. So Ron, thank you for the dedication at your league for your girls, because it's showing. Your dedication is showing through the work that you do there.
Thank you.
We thank you, and we have this as
This is the grandparents, yes.
the
ma'am.
grandparents,
Yes,
yes.
ma'am.
This is Araya. This is my granddaughter.
In the microphone.
This is my granddaughter, Araya. She was 15 years old. She was the young lady that was murdered Friday, June the 2nd. All we're asking is for justice.
Mm-hmm.
It occurred there in front of her house. My son, Jim, is a single father, and he was raising Araya with our help. And he did a real good job. With kickball, it's always the moms that are there. Well, Jim was one of the moms. He was a dad to a lot of the girls. And it's amazing how through a sport we are raising young ladies to be independent, to be forceful, motivated, and leaders. And I was talking to Ron earlier, and he said he looked at some pictures of past players, and they are graduates. They're being very productive. And I want to thank the league, and anything that the community can do to support this tragedy would be appreciated.
We are so very sorry for your loss very much. And if I could, before we ask if y'all want to do a photo, if I could everyone to stand and let's do a moment of silence in Araya's. Thank you. Do y'all want to come and take a photo too?
Sorry for your loss, Mom.
Thank you for being here. Sorry for your loss.
Thank you.
Such a tragedy, for sure. Do we have anyone signed up? Okay. Moving on to item G, public comment. First, we have up Michael Ridgers. If you would state your name and address, please.
My name is Michael Ritgers. I live at 5918 South Oso Parkway here in Corpus Christi. Judge, Commissioners, I'm speaking in opposition to the issuance of certificates of obligation for the building of a hospital. Certificates of obligation were designed to allow governments to fund needs for which funding is not immediately available in a budget, and there's not time to get voter approval. This means of financing has morphed over the last couple of decades into a government credit card, which is being used to charge whatever is wanted. It no longer seems to be a needs-based system. It seems to me that there's a fear of taking this project to the voters. There's no perceivable rush to build a hospital for $45 million, $85 million after interest is added in. Put the question to the voters. The suggestion has been made that the payback will not be in the form of higher taxes. Although that may be possible, in my estimation, that's a stretch. If this project will not raise taxes, the voters will most likely vote it in. Give them a vote. It's also been suggested that this project will revitalize an area that might not otherwise be revitalized. I've lived in Corpus Christi all my life. The area that we're discussing has not changed in many decades. It was pretty much the same in the 70s when Memorial Hospital was the premier medical center in Corpus Christi. Just building a hospital is not going to revitalize that area. As our elected representatives, you should rein in the use of certificates of obligation. You should live within a budget. Thank you.
Thank you. Liz Miller?
Excuse me. Hi.
Hello.
Liz
You
Miller, I'm sorry.
Might adjust that. You can pull it down. Yes.
All right, Liz Miller, is that better?
Yeah.
5139 Tomahawk, Robstown. Y'all know why I'm here. There are 1,000 things I'd like to address with animal services, but this is priority. Pentobarbital is a Class 2 scheduled DEA-regulated controlled substance. The only drug more regulated, considered more dangerous by the DEA, is heroin, peyote, ecstasy, and the like. Though there are currently legislative efforts to upgrade fentanyl to a Class 1, it is currently still in the same class as pentobarbital. Excuse me. Between October 3rd and February 3rd, exactly 4 months, Animal Services cannot account for 33.5 milliliters of pentobarbital, a drug equated to fentanyl by the DEA, and spilled an additional 10 milliliters of the drug in a sink. There's air quotes on that. On top of that, the spill was so insignificant to Animal Services, they did not even document it for 2 weeks to 3 months after the incident. To understand the gravity of the situation, Animal Services had 108 milliliters in an open container on October 3rd, and misplaced 40% of that in only 4 months. Additionally, Animal Services failed to document opening a new container, an action required by the DEA last spring, making it exceptionally easy to conceal missing or losing an entire bottle of pentobarbital. As for the spill, if it truly occurred, it never should have. For that drug to hit a sink means every single safety measure was ignored, every one of them. The MSDS sheet places in bold cap, the product cannot enter any waterways because it is toxic to aquatic life and wildlife. The drug should have been nowhere near the sink. If the spill truly occurred, the drug is parts per trillion in the wastewater plants, and that provides some solace. But if a pipe broke or a seal failed before the drug reached the plants, it could have hit our drains and ditches in a highly concentrated state, wreaking devastation, pardon me, on wildlife and pollinators. It could have hurt a child or a pet. It was negligent, unnecessary risk to have the drug near a sink or draw it over a sink. Based on all the errors, the disregard for safety, not following the regulations, there are only two camps. The first being that Animal Services is euthanizing off the books to adulterate live release numbers, which is illegal. And the second camp is you have an addict or a dealer in the facility, which is also illegal. And 4 of those ACOs have county fleet vehicles assigned to them. I hope you're able to take action today and either take the drug away from Animal Services and outsource euthanasia to a vet, or get the manager out, away from the drug by termination. I don't care which. I have lost all trust in his ability to manage that department with humane standards. I appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Judge, something that I know we do during public comment is not engage, but these are some pretty serious accusations, and we have our chief law enforcement officer here and our county attorney here, and so if that is a statement that is being made with some merit, I'd like for that to be investigated or for us to get a report back to us, because that is concerning if it's true. Ms. Miller walked off, so I'm not sure if that was a statement made just to make and walk away. But I'm very concerned at what was brought up. So if we can get a report back to us.
We're going to do that today.
I
It's on
submitted
our-
that report, Commissioner.
Yeah.
So we'll
Okay,
have
so
that
we're gonna
report then.
talk.
Okay.
We're going to talk about it
this.
today.
Thank you.
Yes. Is there anyone else here who wishes to do public comment that didn't have a chance to sign up? Good morning. How are you?
Doing good. Doing great. How are y'all doing today?
State your name and address, and I will put you on here, Dustin.
All right. Dustin Cronin, 5026 Yorktown Boulevard. I am here today because I am an autism awareness activist around the community, and we've been making a lot of progress with the law enforcement over there, and I'll be traveling to Port A on Thursday, and even other towns like Bishop, and already given a presentation over there, and to figure out ways we can get people with autism taken care of throughout the community and all throughout the state and everything. And I do appreciate the work from all you, each and every one of you commissioners, and I know it will take time and all that, and it's not going to happen overnight, but I will say this: we are off to a great start, and that's all I have today.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
If there are no others, then we will move on to consent agenda. Does any commissioner have any items on the consent agenda they want to pull for further discussion?
Yeah, I have a couple, Judge.
Yes, sir.
Item number E. Item number E on the land, number 1, 2, and 3. I like to put those so we can, I want to vote separately on that.
Okay.
Well, I agree with I might agree with everything else. I don't agree with that. So I like to vote separately on that. I don't have any
No other ones?
discussion other than I'm just very dissatisfied that we're.
We'll pull
we're
those in
paying-
a second. Did you have any other ones, Commissioner, that you
Oh, I'm
wanted to
sorry,
pull
I'm
out for
sorry.
questioning?
Also number H.
H,
I want to discuss number H, okay?
okay,
And that's all I have.
okay.
Judge, I just
Anyone
had a
else?
Couple of quick questions on N and Q.
N and Q,
Yes, ma'am.
anyone else? Then I will accept a motion to pass all the consent items excluding item E, numbers 1, 2, and 3, H, N, and Q.
So move.
We have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Same, oh, you want to say aye? I'm sorry, Commissioner, you're a little delayed.
Aye.
Anyone opposed, the motion passes. So moving to item E, Commissioner Gonzalez on the Lockwood, Andrews, and Newman invoices.
Yeah, on that one, Judge, I just, we're gonna put it to a vote separately. My vote will be no, and I'm just kind of still disappointed the fact that we continue to pay invoices that are incomplete. They're not,
Mr.
Credible
Pimentel
to
is
me, they're
here.
not
Do you want
credible,
to
they're
talk
not,
about these LAN invoices, Juan?
and, we ask for information, and the information is not any better than we had before. And I've gone through those invoices. I know that they've done some of the work, I don't know how much work. And I asked last time that this items be placed all in one lump sum, and for some reason, they have not been placed in the one lump sum by the county auditor and whoever is in charge of public works or whoever is in charge. I've asked last meeting, I even stressed it to get together and pay these things off, without having any kind of balances.
Are these the
So,
final invoices?
Judge, the invoices that are presented are prior to February the 8th. That's after the,
When we
When we-
canceled the
yes,
contract
ma'am.
for those,
So-
except for the Bob Paul Pierce
yes,
stuff,
ma'am.
yes.
So we already had submitted a recommendation letter to Commissioners Court on these invoices for recommendation for payment.
So are you saying these are the final invoices
Yes, ma'am.
for them?
Yes, ma'am.
Commissioner Gonzalez?
And this one don't have anything to do with Bob Hall Pier. I'm not even touching, Bob Hall Pier is a different,
No, we
it's a different area.
understand that's not what your invoices are from previous work, but he's
Right.
saying these are the final invoices for that work.
Well, that's what I've heard twice before, but, anyway, I want to put this into a motion, I move that we don't pay these invoices. If I get a second, that's fine, if I don't, then it dies, but, I just, that's the way I feel.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
And so to clarify, Juan, you're good with this?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We reviewed the invoices, Judge and Commissioners, and we're recommending them.
And this is
And
the
this is the
final
final?
for
It's a-
everything other than what they're working on Bob Paul Pier.
That's correct, Judge. It's up, these invoices are up to February the 8th. Up to.
Okay, we have a motion from Commissioner Gonzalez. We don't have a second, so that motion fails. Do we have a motion to pay these as the final invoices? And
So moved, Judge.
we have a
Second.
motion and a second to pay these invoices. So
Thank you, Judge. Thank
do
you,
not bring
Commissioners.
us any more. All those in
Yes, ma'am.
favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any
Thank-
opposed, same sign.
Thank
Nay.
you.
The motion passes. Thank you.
Nay?
Yes, we got you, Commissioner, understand. Thank you. Item H, approve and accept donations for June 7th to the county for the Veterans Food Pantry.
I'll support the flag issue and. That was H was,
Yeah, this was an outside donation that they have to come to court. We have to accept it, but these were
Oh, okay.
individuals that gave them money for this, yeah.
Okay, that was
Yeah.
a donation given to them already?
Yes, we just have to accept
Okay.
it for them to be able
Well,
to.
I really accept that all the time, you know.
Yes, okay.
So is this just it doesn't have a list of who it was from? Is it just a bunch of different people or something? On mine didn't, but.
It says donations, so it was multiple donations, but it's a total to accept is $10,754.
Yeah, it doesn't have the list, so the list should be from the auditor's office.
So I asked the same thing of our staff member. It was multiple donors, all at one facility, that wanted to remain anonymous.
Can we do that? I mean, it's fine. I mean, I'm happy that they did it.
I don't think we have to publish it, but we should be able to at least when you take them or for here, we should be able to, yeah.
We
You
have,
do
yes, we have
okay.
the identified
But they
items.
want to
Yes.
be, okay.
They
But
wanted to
you have the
remain-
names of the multiple donors, okay.
Yes, and we have the intent, and it's in writing on what they intended the funds to be spent on. And they will be deposited into a special revenue department in order to ensure that we spend those funds in compliance with their requests.
Cleared with the county attorney.
We've not been given that information. We're happy to review it if the court wishes.
I just would make it a subject to the county attorney looking at it, but make the motion to approve and thank those who wanted to remain anonymous for their generous donations.
I think as long as Lisa has the names and the checks are being deposited, they're wanting to not have their name blasted throughout the county or in commissioner's court.
God bless.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with it. Yeah, okay. Are you making a motion to do that then,
Yes, ma'am.
Brent?
Second.
We have a motion and a second to accept this as with the county attorney's approval. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed?
Aye.
Yes, thank you, Commissioner. I have to slow down. I forget there's a little bit of a delay online. And then item N,
Just the others, and I couldn't seem to find it in the agreement, the other ones that said there was no cash match. This one didn't say that. Just wanted to know if there was a cash match on this one.
there is no match
Okay,
to this.
that was
yes.
all. It was that, then motion to approve in, Judge.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed, same sign. The motion passes. And Q,
Judge, I could not find in my packet, and I may have missed it, was this, if this was one of our allocations,
the
or was
nonprofits.
this a precinct allocation? I just don't,
This should be for the nonprofits, but they're gonna expand
is
that.
out of that
From that-
nonprofit money?
yes,
Okay,
yes.
that's all I was,
This is,
okay.
they would have already received their check, but they were waiting. They finally met all the requirements. They turned in everything, so now we can write their check. But it's part of that initial.
Great, that was it. So this was a countywide
Yes,
authorization.
yes.
Great. The motion to approve, Judge.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
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 Thank you.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. The motion passes. So moving on to the regular agenda items then. Item A, this is something I haven't ever done. Receive, open, and enter into the minutes the applications for Nueces County Bank Depository, Nueces County Bank Sub-Depositories, and the Nueces County Clerk and District Clerk Registry Funds Depository. The court manager is going to open them and read them into the minutes. And then they will be referred to the investment committee, and we will meet for recommendations, and they will be brought back. I think we're going to try to do a special meeting next week, Wednesday, the 14th. Oh, we don't have them yet? They're right next door. They'll be here in 1 second.
I don't.
They probably, they have a couple of, it's going to take a little bit bringing them in. There's a couple of. Yes, I'll wait. Instead of
Jeff
move.
is here.
Yeah, okay. Here they come. Was Frances in the office? There's another, there's more. Oh, is she bringing the other? Okay, there's one more. I think there are three.
What are those?
This is the bank depositories that we had to go out. This is, has, and now they have to open them and read them into the minutes, and then they'll go to, after we open, all the people that applied are read into the minutes, and then the investment committee will have to meet, and then we have that other meeting scheduled for the 14th.
They have to open up the commissioners.
So they don't, so we don't authorize today, we just enter it?
No, we
Okay.
just open and enter it, who we have received bids from.
I don't remember doing this either.
This was back in
Frostbank.
2017. We
Okay.
looked it up, and then it's like, it's our
Yeah, we're ready.
17, yeah.
We received Frostbank.
Frost Bank is one we've received.
I believe you.
Yeah.
There's three, yes, we have it all.
Okay, I've received Prosperity Bank. Let me see. Yeah. Okay,
Prosperity Bank we received, and then one other.
got it.
Mhm.
Here, we can take them. Put them here. We'll keep them. Plains Capital Bank.
Plains
Is that
Capital
third?
Bank are the three banks we've
Yes.
received.
Yeah, I'm gonna put them up here.
Do we have to vote on the meeting or anything? There's nothing we have to do other than it gets referred to the investment committee?
The selection. The selection committee?
The selection committee is the investment committee, which is made up of your office, myself,
Tax office,
tax office.
the auditor's office.
The auditor's office.
Court administration.
And
And the county
court
attorney.
administration.
You may want to announce when we're going to meet.
We were gonna meet next Wednesday, we're
No,
gonna
the
meet
selection committee tomorrow.
Thursday at 2:00 to go over this, and then the meeting to vote on this will be next Wednesday, June the 14th.
Correct.
Yes, to make the selection, yes.
Duly noted in the minutes.
Thank you
That will
very
be
much.
a special meeting or just a committee
A
meeting?
special meeting, only for that item, yes.
Got it.
So that's all we have to do with that? We're good?
Yeah, we just received it.
Okay, item number 2, discuss and consider approval of dune protection permit for mitigation and compensation of previous impacts. Scott, you're up.
Yes, ma'am. It's not on, I don't think. Anyhow, I can talk pretty loud. So we had this one on before, and Megan had put it on the Commissioners Court agenda, having not confirmed that the.
Hang on, Scott, you gotta have a mic, hold on.
Hello, okay. Sorry about that.
Yes.
I just didn't want to hold us up. So we had this one on before. We had to not execute anything because when it got put on, we did not verify that adjacent property owners were notified. We tell the applicant that they're responsible for notifying adjacent property owners, but we have to see proof that they have sent out notification. We have that now, we're ready to bring it back, and I'll let Christine tell you about the details as far as, you know, what she did in working with the adjacent property owner.
So the adjacent property owners, the Jones family, had sent a letter to the county and to the GLO voicing their concern about the impacts from the violation work that had caused some work that had crossed property lines, issues of stormwater and erosion. And that is one of the conditions of our permits from the county, and one of the recommendations and rules from the TAC and the plan that you cannot cause impacts from stormwater erosion and other stuff like that to your adjacent landowner. So that was already a condition in the approval letter that we had drafted up. But to address the specific concerns of the Jones family, we added a more specific condition of the approval that
Let me
will
ask,
come
let
from
me
the
stop you right
county.
there. The Jones family has
Yes.
been designated. They've been recognized, authorized that these are the Jones family. There's no other heirs. I know that there's been questions brought up as far as who is the designated Jones family. Is that right?
That, we got the letter from Larry Jones, is where the letter came from. And so that's who we're trying to address as Larry Jones and his son, Bud Jones, that are custodians of the property next door. I don't know anything about any other
Not
Jones
anything.
family.
Okay, gotcha.
Good clarification, thanks. Any other questions?
So what is the extra condition?
The extra condition reads, upon receipt of this approval, applicant will notify adjacent landowner, the Jones family, provides the address and email that was from the letter they sent. 14493 South Padre Island Drive, Suite A, PMB 471, Corpus Christi, Texas 78418, brud@interhold.com. To schedule repairs to impacts on their property caused by the subject violation, the applicant will be responsible for obtaining the Jones family approval for proposed construction and access methods of repair, standards for repair, completion, and post-repair monitoring. So we're telling the applicant, if you have caused these impacts, you have to work with the Jones family to come to an agreement on them.
And does the applicant acknowledge and agree that they've caused this impact?
They have received a copy of the letter and have been talking to the Jones family's representatives. They haven't told me if they agree to it, but it's by rule from the TAC and the county's plan, any work that is authorized by a dune protection permit cannot cause impacts to your adjacent landowners. So there are impacts to them or the other adjacent landowners to the north, which would be the county. That's up to the applicant to repair those. This is just added condition to, because we received that letter.
So
To show the GLO it's
does
addressed.
BMAC agree that there's been impact? I mean, like,
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, this happened probably close to 2 years ago. I was notified by the General Land Office that there was some unauthorized activity going on this piece of land that sits in between the county park and the Jones family. And I could not verify, and then one day I went up on Park Road 22, I saw where the violations were. I issued a cease and desist letter because they had done impacts to dune and dune vegetation and wetlands without a permit. So they had unauthorized activity. So as a result of that, I worked with the Corps of Engineers, the General Land Office, and myself to get access to the property so we could assess what had been done. At first, they put up no trespassing signs, and we don't have any authority to go past that. And then they agreed to meet with us, let us all on the property, look at the damages that were created that were unauthorized. We did that, and then as a result, we have to go back through the process of going through BMAC and the GLO and issuing this permit to fix what has been broken. Not any construction past that. They just got to go and restore what was damaged underneath those unauthorized impacts. So that's what we're doing.
so what I think I heard that say was that the Jones family got to be the final decider on whether or not the impact was taken care of?
No,
Or-
the Jones family, as an adjacent landowner, they have to be notified that this individual is gonna fix these violations. And as a result of him fixing these violations, he cannot create any impacts to their properties, i.e. stormwater drainage.
No, I get that, but I thought read that last part to me again, because it sounded like the Jones family got to be the final arbiter of whether they were fixed or not, and
That's what I heard.
maybe I didn't hear
Well,
it.
that's, read it, and it should be clarified, because that sentence is open, and it should be monitoring for their property, should be added to the end. The applicant responsible for obtaining the Jones family approval for proposed construction, access, methods of repair, standards of repair, completion, and post-repair monitoring on their property, or on the Jones property, will be added to the end.
Okay, so.
Say that whole thing again.
Yeah, sorry.
Speak into the microphone a
Yes.
little bit better, because when you read it the first time, I was concerned too.
Okay.
Yes.
The applicant will be responsible for obtaining the Jones family approval for proposed construction and access methods. So how they're gonna do it and get on there.
How
of
they're gonna
repair.
repair the damages they've done on that, because
On
when you
the
say that
Jones
first
family.
sentence, it sounds like, why do they need the Jones family?
Yeah. Then I also put standards for repair completion, so, you know, they get, on their property, they get to decide when it's done, and post-repair monitoring, so if they want any monitoring after the initial completion, that's between the applicant and the Jones family on their property.
So every other applicant in the future, are they gonna have the adjoining properties' names in theirs like this?
And they, I would say if they submit concerned letters, we could note them, but this was added in an attempt to address the letter that was specifically sent to the GLO and the
I get
county.
it. I'm concerned, what if there's a dispute that the two parties can't resolve on their own, then what happens? Because
Yeah, that's.
being in the middle of one of those.
We
So-
do have the applicants.
So all we're required to do, working with the General Land Office and the Army Corps, is to address violations on that applicant's property. If that applicant ventured off of his property and did something on an adjacent landowner's, which I don't know that to be true or not true.
No, I'm saying, what if the two parties can't resolve a way to mitigate the damages? Who decides what happens, or does that property remain in limbo because someone doesn't agree?
That's between if they're talking about damages on the adjacent property, that's between the two property owners. We're not gonna get into that property dispute. You know, we're just dealing with damages on the actual applicant's property. If there's damages on an adjacent landowner's property, then that adjacent landowner and that landowner here are gonna have to work something out.
And the applicant is,
Bob Walters,
okay, so if Bob Walters and the Jones family can't work out their differences, does that stop the applicant from being able to develop his property?
not as long as he doesn't create any kind of impacts on the adjacent property.
It shouldn't affect this dune permit.
Okay, I just don't wanna,
Yeah, there's no construction with this other than restoration of what's been done.
okay, I just don't wanna put a condition in place that leaves it open-ended and people have to come back and they're still fighting over it and they can't move forward with the property because the two parties can't.
I agree. It's a very good point.
So you're saying you don't think this condition does that?
I don't think so. Do you? I mean,
That's why I wrote it specifically to say it's, the applicant has to work with the adjacent landowner. And this is already a condition for approval that any impacts the applicant's responsible for. This just goes a step further to say, name the neighbor because we received that letter.
come on up. This is Sandy Hart. She's the applicant's representative with CEI.
Sorry, I kind of was running in here late, a little bit late, but the current dune permit, the way it's, just a general dune permit, the way that it's written now, protects the adjacent landowners from any sort of impacts that may happen, whether it's a restoration type dune permit or if it's a new construction. I mean, the conditions are written into the dune permit to handle that as is, so I'm not really sure. I know that she put in a new condition or an additional condition because of the letter coming in, but they were protected from the beginning, so I'm not.
So do you object to this new condition?
I haven't really, I came in a little bit late not to hear the entire thing, but I think it's just protects them still just a little further, saying that, and if there is some disagreement, that they have to work it out. And I agree with you totally. The dune permit's not set up to work, agreement or disagreements out with landowners. That's not what that's for. That's what they should do, whether they agree that there was other issues or not. But this strictly protects the adjacent landowner and my client for the work that they're going to do right now to restore what they did.
I mean, if you're okay with the language,
Yeah. Can I look at it real quick?
I mean, I just want to make sure that we're not doing something at the last minute that you haven't had a chance to look at. You want to take a second and look at it, because I don't want you to rush into anything.
because I'm not saying that there were impacts, because I'm not 100% sure that. I don't think there were. I don't think so either.
Speak into the microphone, please. The
Sorry.
microphone.
It's my opinion and my position that I don't feel like the work that, or the violation that my client did impacted their property. Now, returning it back to what it was, we need to make sure additionally that we don't have anything that is going to impact their property. So, yeah, I think if she puts, if there are impacts, then I'm fine with that. I just don't want to say, yeah, there were impacts when I don't think there were.
Exactly.
Okay, as long as we don't have you back in here disputing over it, we just want to get a dune permit done and not get anybody, we don't need any more disputes with the Jones family.
Yes.
And we also don't want to set unnecessary precedences either, and I think that's what you are trying to
That's
establish as
basically
well.
what I'm trying to, yeah, thank you.
Just because
Okay.
the letter was sent out. Yes.
With the, so,
Judge,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
you know, the only, I have again, another concern here that we're dealing with something, and, you know, I hear too many I don't knows and maybes. You know, and this was the issue last time too, and we're still fighting that issue, you know? So I don't know, at one point, we gotta find out whether it is true or not true, or what are we gonna do, or what needs to be done. You know, I mean, somebody, we can go back and forth all day long, and, you know, if I represent somebody, of course, I wanna be in the best interest, and, you know, if I, you know, we might put it back if I had wanted, we don't know what they want. I don't know if anything has been written down in writing or agreements or whatever. Is there any agreement? I mean, I like to see these agreements, you know, between the Jones family or both the parties. They're between the county and between the Jones family, I guess. I don't know. I just it really bothers me when we read those. You know, Scott also mentioned that I did this, I did that, and then we met. I don't know who's we, you know. So, you know, I always like to identify who's we, and you know, the postal park is involved with this thing or not. You know, the mismanagement is involved, and at what point. You know, I just think that a lot of things that needs to be answered to kind of clarify what we're doing. You know, I mean. We can come back next meeting again and discuss things. They're not always throwing things around. You know, we need to bring things to closure and make sure that we are saying the right things, you know, and doing the right things. Again, like I think Commissioner Chesney said, we really have enough issues as it is with the Jones family. We don't want another battle with the Jones family, you know, and that battle's not over yet. But anyway, I just think that we need to, you know, this is between two property owners, and I don't know how we got involved in this thing here, but I think we need to get maybe again, and I wish I hate to hire somebody to say, you know. Look into it and let us know, or the county attorney maybe look into it and say, you know, this is what it is, and, you know, we move forward, you know.
I think if I understand you correctly, Commissioner, you're saying basically this is already covered for if people, the dune protection permits, if you do damage on someone else's property, that this is already, the rules and regulations are in there for that. That we don't get into the weeds of individual property owners next door or anything. If something does happen like that, then that's between the two landowners, and that would be a litigation, lawsuit, whatever you want to call it. So we are trying to implement wording into something that we don't have for anybody else, and it's not really necessary for us. We're not involved in the end argument anyway. And we put ourselves in there by adding this wording to where, like Commissioner Chesney said, then are we going to be involved in the dispute at the end? So if the The dune permits already require the individual to clean up any damage or anything. I think I would be against adding the wording in for it because that's between two private entities. That's not
Right,
between the
and
county
I
and
agree.
us. Yeah.
So let me address the commissioners in your statement right there. You're absolutely correct. If we add this in here, we're going above and beyond, because if you read the Texas Administrative Code, if you read the beach management plan, you read the rules that we go by, even the recommendations that are in the beach and dune rules, the GLO has already commented on what they expect that we submitted to them for review to bring back to you. And so the GLO is basically, with our dune protection authority underneath them, we have to have the applicant, the owner, address the violations. Anything, and we warn them, they cannot do anything that's going to affect adjacent property owners. If they do that, then Judge, you're correct. That's between those two parties. We don't regulate those differences. And if they happen to have impacted their property already, which I'm not aware of, then that's between them. That's a big island out there. People go out there, they start moving dirt. Not always do we see it or do we know about it. We have to be Johnny on the spot monitoring everything, and we find stuff that was unpermitted activity all the time and have to go back and fix it. And so I know that Christine has talked with the Jones family members, a member, and I've talked with Mr. Walters, the property owner. He wants to do what's right. He wants to fix what he has to fix in accordance with the GLO. And we can't enforce him to do anything more than just that. That's all we can do.
And like I said, I think that's already covered. So I think if we get involved, then we're getting involved in something in the future for other parties, and we're putting ourselves in the equation that's not
Valid point. I
necessary.
mean, why put it in there at all?
Exactly, exactly. I see your reasoning. Thanks for talking this out with us.
That's a valid point. I mean, I would just, I mean, if that stuff's all covered, then just putting something extra in means they're gonna have to go do it for everybody else as it comes up. I mean, it's.
Or will be included in the questions when there
Right.
are
We
problems too.
we got their
We
letter.
don't want any part of that.
We took it under, advisory. We got their letter. We were already addressing what we had to address with the state regulatory agencies and the federal regulatory agencies because there were wetlands that were impacted. And so we're just doing our due diligence, just in approving just them doing the mitigation for impacts. And they're not allowed to impact adjacent landowners, including us, the county, because we're the northern adjacent property owner.
Which they're not allowed to anyway, right?
Yeah,
I mean, so
exactly.
in other words.
All the way around.
Okay, so yeah, it's a good point. I mean, do we really need it in there? That's the big question. I mean, I don't.
I would make a motion to pass without that language in it, since it is already covered in all of our other dune permit applications. I think you're setting a precedence that we don't want to get into on private individuals and property rights, so.
Second.
Second that motion, Judge, if it's already covered.
I have a motion and a second. Is there any other discussion?
For the record, will you state what language to be removed? To strike from?
To strike the,
The additional condition put in by Parks Boards or.
yeah, she'd
however-
have to read it again. The additional
So-
sentence put
yeah.
in or whatever.
Just the additional condition.
So we'll strike
The
this from the county's approval letter that said, upon receipt of this approval, applicant will notify adjacent landowner, the Jones family, with their address and email address to schedule repairs to Jones family property if impacts occurred to their property caused by the subject violation. The applicant will be responsible for obtaining the Jones family approval for proposed construction and access methods of repair, standards for repair completion, and post-repair monitoring on the Jones family property. That statement will be struck from the approval letter, and the standard letter that says they cannot impact adjacent landowners stands.
We don't want to get involved in individual property owners' things. We have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed, same sign.
Thank you all very much.
Thank you. Moving on to number 3, discuss and consider authorizing request for funding from the Nueces County Hospital District for public health services and activities for fiscal year 2023-24. And their meeting is coming up when, Ida? The 26th. And
I move.
So this is,
Any questions?
yeah, I didn't have any backup, so just explain yeah, what we're doing?
So,
We met
basic-
with them the other day as well.
That's
so,
correct. So the
yes.
judge was there, so we were talking to the hospital district. So,
Yeah, I met with them also. I don't have a problem with that, so.
correct. So what we're gonna be requesting if the court approves today is just to go before the board and ask them again to assist with the health department and vector control. Last year, they gave us, we have a contract for 2 million that covers health department and vector control. And also, also now we're gonna be including the staff that is assistant at the Calderon building, the
we
two staff that the court just moved, and also to include the mobile clinic.
Second the motion.
Okay, so is this additional funding request that we're making from the hospital district, or is this just shifting some of the funds that they paid
It's
for
shifting
before?
some of the funds.
They've already
Correct.
been paying for it. We're including, putting it all together. When we moved the gentleman from over there from
Right.
their offices, that moved. This is all things they have been doing. in-
Correct.
this
It
is
was
not-
already under the mental health commissioner. So those, the 273,000 is already was, and remember, it used to be 3 staff members. Now they're gonna just assist with 2 staff members, which includes the salaries, all the benefits, and then expenses for that particular system with the Calderon building.
Okay, so this says with a 5% increase
What,
request.
the 5% is because now, this is an agreement, they assisting us, the hospital district. We have the separate agreement with the city that they providing the services through a different agreement, and that is gonna be, probably it's
the-
gonna be the next meeting, to bring that to the court to approval. That's what they requesting now from the city.
Okay, so
So basically, so it's, for the health department, we're gonna do the 2.3 million, so there's 2 million that they approved continued the last year, Commissioner. So you see this health department vector control, including the staff from Calderon Building, which is the 273,000, and the mobile clinic, which is gonna be the 40,000.
and is any of this additional cost from what they were paying last year?
No, Commissioner, is the same.
10,000 is, 10,000 is
Yeah,
on
the-
the.
yeah,
Oh, the
Mobile
10,000, that's
Yeah.
correct, Judge. It's 10,000
Just
for the
one.
mobile
Yeah.
clinic,
Right.
which was already included in the last contract.
So it was 30 before, now it's going
And
to
that's
40.
40. So it's a 10,000 additional to this
Okay, so
request.
I think it's just really incumbent upon us as we go into what I believe will be a very difficult budget for many reasons, that we really make sure that we're not asking for additional funds from them, because we're gonna have they're gonna have a hard budget, we're gonna have a hard budget, we're gonna have, projected, some pretty difficult times. So I just wanna make sure we're not asking for any additional funds from them right now, because I think they're gonna have a hard time
That's correct,
giving us what
Commissioner.
they've got based on what this budget could look like coming forward. And that's a little foreshadowing, but it's legit foreshadowing. So
Correct.
if you're telling me there's no, and then below it, though, this says this 1.765 with a 5% increase request, what is that?
That is coming from the city. That's the request. So that's part of the expenses that they're gonna be covered
City
with
is
the two.
asking for? That's what this-
Correct.
Okay, so this sheet's not real explanatory. There was no
Correct. Mm-hmm.
backup in this agenda item, so I'm having to do this kind of on the fly.
Correct.
So if we could get backup in the agenda.
Sure.
So that we can look at it, it would be helpful. So this is, because this doesn't even say, so this is the city's, like, it's not labeled. In other words, it just says
Correct.
1.765 with a 5% increase.
That's the city's request right now. So that's part of the 2 million that the hospital district is gonna be covering from this, from the new, if they agree in the next meeting to cover, is the health department expenses.
Okay, so the city, the Nueces County Hospital District has given us $2 million, or given the health department $2 million,
It's not giving the city, it's giving us, it's with the county, correct?
which we give to the health department.
Yes.
So this 1.7 is what our actual costs were, and now it's, which is still within the 2 million, is that what that's saying?
That's correct.
Okay, so they're still allocating 2 million even though we only need 1.853? So there's some
It's
extra-
1.2, the 1.8 million is just health department, but the UCs are also vector control. So those
Okay,
two
so-
departments, so the difference of the 1.8 million potentially that we're gonna have with the city is going to be the difference, which is 100, I'm gonna say like around 147,000. That's to cover the vector control expenses. So it's
Okay, so-
nothing in addition, both 2 million covered two departments, Health Department and Vector Control.
Who prepared this?
I put it like really quick together
This
today.
isn't really good backup. This isn't explanatory to me.
Mm-hmm.
This wasn't posted online. I'm very concerned that we don't want to revert back to what we were doing before. And this is, this is not understandable in writing at all. And so I think I know what you're saying, but
Commissioner,
I'm
this,
not real sure, but this just isn't good.
okay, yes, I totally agree with
This
this.
is not backup.
Okay, I
That's
totally
not
agree with you,
backup.
Commissioner, but the judge was there in that meeting. We went through the numbers, each number, the 273, the 40,000, and those numbers came straight for the budget that always allocate the health, the hospital district.
Okay, so
And
I don't understand this. This is not explanatory to me. You helped a little
I'm
bit,
gonna give
but-
you a better document then, Commissioner, for the court. In that way, you can, everything is gonna be included for the board, also for the next meeting with the hospital district board.
So do we have to do this today? I
The
mean,
hospital district board meeting coming up is on the 26th, and we will need to
If
have
you-
someone there at that meeting to make
If you
this
want it,
request.
correct, if you want it, Commissioner, if you want a better document, we have the June 14th agenda. I can currently there, and I can prepare a better document if that's what you wish.
I just need to look to see. We have another.
We also have the 21st
we don't have
before
a-
the
Correct.
meeting,
We
so
don't have a meeting on the 14th.
we have a special one-item agenda
Meeting.
to approve those bank.
Well, I'm not going to be here.
And then we
You
had the
said you were
June,
possibly gonna
and then we,
zoom in, no?
correct.
No, I'm not going to be here.
Okay.
Correct.
No. I do
And then
not.
we had a June 21st.
June, that's fine with me. I'd rather wait because I'm not understanding this. I don't think it's appropriate backup. I think it's probably fine, but I'm just,
It is
And-
fine, I'm just gonna put it in the way that you wanna see it,
I
Commissioner.
just want to.
So your motion would be to move this to the June 21st? You want to table till?
Approve.
Oh, there was a
There is a
motion to
and a
approve
second.
already? Who?
Jag.
Yeah.
I don't,
So,
So
if y'all all understand it, great. This is not
Commissioner
backup. This is not what we normally do.
Gonzalez, are you willing to pull your motion, or do you want to vote?
I'd sure like to wait and see it
No,
on
I,
the 20th.
I don't want to put a motion. I think that, I understand it very clearly. We've always understood that we were committed to $2 million to the health district. When they moved over, they took over, still $2 million remain. This year, now that they have the health department over there in Calderon building, only 2 days a week. I think right now, the amount is, the question is 1.8 million, but also includes the mosquito spray, what is it? Vector control.
Vector control,
Which
yes.
is added to that. And, they're taking over the 2 positions that they're paying for now from, they used to be there under them. They're now under the clinic. So, I mean, I
Okay.
don't see an issue with this at all.
I understand. He doesn't want to pull. I have one question, though.
I don't see an issue. I don't understand the backup.
Yeah.
This doesn't even
Do-
make, have you seen the backup,
do they
Commissioner Gonzalez?
pay on
This doesn't even
this?
make sense.
Or do we give them an invoice, they only pay what we actually get? This
We-
is just,
This is the cap, so let's see, the total is gonna be 2.3 million, that's the cap. And therefore, they're gonna receive, an invoice from us, we're gonna send it, that's the process. We generate through the auditor's office an invoice.
They pay as we invoice them.
as we
Correct,
invoice
and we send them to the
because I
to the
am
health.
also, like Commissioner
hospital
Chesney,
district.
very worried about all of our budgets moving
That's
forward into the
correct.
next year, so.
It's already in the budget.
Go
For me,
ahead.
I'd like to move forward on this, but I think whatever you gave to Commissioner Gonzalez and to the judge may be helpful if you just kind of put it in an explanation.
I should have,
'Cause
I make sure like.
I agree with Commissioner Chesney. I would just want to hold off until we can get better backup.
Correct.
And I don't think it's going to be an issue for me. I just want to
Okay.
be able to see it, want the public be able to review it as well, just pull it
Correct.
up on an attachment, and then I should be good with that. But that's what I'll be voting against it, not because I think that this is the right I think it is the right thing to
It
do,
is.
but I want to see just better backup.
I'll do it, Commissioner, thank you.
Scott, just for future, when when you make motions, please include the dollar amount, because just approving that we're going to request funds and there's not a dollar amount in the
Oh.
motion. That way it's reflected in the minutes and clear.
The amount, Commissioner Gonzalez, is $2,313,000 is what the motion would be for. And we have a motion from Commissioner Gonzalez. We have a second from Commissioner Hernandez. All those in favor say aye.
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 Aye. Since I did have the meeting and have already met with them, it's hard for me to vote against. So those opposed, same sign.
No.
So the motion passes.
With explanation that it may be fine, but this is
We
horrible
need better
backup, and I'd like the
documentation.
minutes to reflect that this is horrible backup with no explanation and makes no sense. So if the minutes can reflect that, that's my comment. Thank you, and that's my reason for voting no.
Just call us. I mean, you don't have to meet with us in person. Just call us and give us the update. I agree.
It's
I mean, just a
not
simple phone
appropriate.
call. We don't have to be in the office. Just let us know, give us a courtesy. I mean, we wouldn't have any problem voting against this 5-0 had everybody given the same opportunity to get an update that you only gave a few members of the court. I have
Well,
an issue with that.
and let me
I have a
be
big issue with
clear.
that.
We had a meeting with Johnny Hip in the hospital district. She didn't give me an update. I met with them personally, so.
Whoever, with
yeah.
Johnny or
Well-
whoever at the hospital district or whoever.
Exactly.
It's IDA's responsibility to get that information to us, period.
Okay.
Agreed.
I mean, it's very unfortunate that we're approving an item that only a select members of this court received, and we can't have the opportunity to support it because we didn't get that information to us. I think that's a
agree.
very bad policy and precedent to have, period, no matter who it is pushing it, right or wrong. So,
Hey, Dave. Yes, sir. When you do the fixing of this document, is it gonna reflect the same amounts?
It's the same dollar amount, Commissioner.
Thank you.
And again, let the record reflect, we got it when the agenda item was presented to us, which is against court policy, that the county manager knows.
you're
It was
right.
not in our backup, and it was not posted online.
I'm going to change my vote. Can I change my vote and push this too? Because I do agree with that. It is policy. Can we do that this late, or is it already
I
done?
think you can call it for another to reconsideration.
Yeah, I would like to reconsider. It is absolutely court policy, and while I had that information, was not available to everybody else, so I would like to change my vote and be against that. Motion to reconsider?
You can just change your vote.
Yeah.
You can just change your vote. There's no, doesn't mean you can't change your vote. People change their vote all the time. That doesn't say you can't do that in Robert's rules.
Which is fine. It's your court.
And I think it's all going to pass, it's all fine, it's not a problem with it, but I do sympathize and I do understand it is court policy to have the backup and people not get it 5 minutes beforehand and have to vote on something like that, so.
The effect is the same. And you're on the winning side, if you call it for reconsideration, then you can revote.
Yes, I'm calling it for reconsideration.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to bring this back up for reconsideration. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed, same sign.
No.
Nay.
2 nays, so it just flips the whole thing. So I'm making the motion to bring this back to the June 21st meeting with the support and documentation that I have received, that Commissioner Gonzalez knows, and to move this forward expedited because their meeting is the 26th as well, so.
I'm
let's
gonna have the
move this.
agenda ready today. The backup is just put in the legends. That's it.
Absolutely.
Based on the fact that I didn't know you had gotten a backup, I didn't get a backup, but, I mean, I'll change my vote also based on hopefully I'll get a backup before the meeting.
Yes, I agree. Thank you, Commissioner.
Man, I guess I'll do the same, Judge. So make it a 5-0.
It is court policy, so yes, I agree wholeheartedly. Thank you. Yes, so it's a 5-0 vote, yes.
Okay. And vote for table next.
To the 21st.
Okay.
Yes.
Got it.
Item number 4, discuss and consider approval of agreement with TxDOT for contribution of right-of-way funds, fixed price in the amount of $525,622.27. Juan, are you going to talk about for improvements of SH 286
Yes, Judge. Public Works is recommending the agreement with TxDOT, and it's for $525,622.27. This is a right-of-way request from TxDOT, and we do have the funding in we have
We have
partial of the funding
yes,
in
and
our right-of-way funds.
we can pay this out in 5
5 year.
years, and we are opting to pay this out. We don't budget for this any longer, and I wasn't aware of this until I received the invoice from TxDOT
Yes,
saying
ma'am.
that we had to pay it. So, in the future, I think we might consider budgeting for this since our balance in that fund is not enough to cover this. We have the first 3 years, I believe, covered with the balance in that amount, but years 4 and 5, we're going to have to replenish and come up with the funding for that. Yes.
That is correct.
And just explain this to me a little bit too. I read it and I had a big question mark on it. So tell me how this works again and then
Commissioner, normally every year, the county sets aside monies within our right-of-way funds under Public Works. This is an improvements that are on State Highway 286. And whenever TxDOT goes out and requests right-of-way from some of these entities or constituents, it's part of our requirements that we have funding to support TxDOT for some of these improvements. So these improvements are on State Highway 286 from County Road 18 to FM 70. And so we're required through the state to assist with the. with
So
these
they
fundings.
don't consult with us about this or anything, they just send us an invoice on what they do?
Yes, ma'am. Normally this happened, I think, like 2 years ago. I think that was like 900 and something thousand. And we had the monies in our right-of-way funds to pay full. In this case, we're short the amount.
Do we still put money in the right-of-way funds for that? I was
Yes,
told that
ma'am.
we don't, that we needed to start
Yes,
again.
yes, ma'am. And
Oh, okay.
And just an FYI, I got another call from from TxDOT. They are gonna be doing some improvements from County Road 70, on County Road 70 from State Highway 286 all the way to Driscoll. And that's gonna be another request that they're gonna come back later on.
and so how does that work? They can just, like another unfunded mandate from the state, they can just, they have the right to just tell us, look, we're gonna do this and you gotta pay? Without any contest from us, Jenny? Anybody? Anybody know it?
Probably, but we can look.
Yeah, I'd like to look at that because, I mean, I don't oppose the work. I oppose hey, by the way, we're fixing to bill you $500,000, you know, and another 500 coming, and it's not like we have that just sitting around. I mean, I know we have it, we may need to increase the budget that goes in our right-of-way fund, but I'd like to know the law on that. So if we could get an advisory, Jenny, on how they get to just tell us this without us having any input or say, and we have to just trust that their number is right, because I guarantee you, we can get it done cheaper than the state can. They're coming in here and their markups are ridiculous, and their contractors charge them out the, you know what? I think our contractors are better here and charge less, so.
We were also told they only charge us 6.4% of the total because we're not considered a big county. Normally, they charge others 10%, and if they don't use all of these funds, then we do get it refunded. Yes, we
I
get
just
it back.
think the court might need a review on how this all works, because.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea. I was shocked when I got the invoice and they said we just had to pay it.
I mean, I remember, I know we've done it, maybe it's just, again, with this budget coming up, I'm nervous about everything, so I don't know where we're gonna come up with anything with this upcoming budget, so, I mean, we need to look at anything and everything that we can to save money, because it's gonna be bad.
So, I have a motion to, did I have a motion to pass? Am I forgetting? I need a motion to pass.
Begrudgingly.
Yes, I will make the motion to
Second.
pass with the funds and do the 5-year payout. Yes, we have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye.
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 Thank you.
Any opposed, same sign. Commissioner Gonzalez, are you voting on this one? I think he stepped away, and he can't vote unless he's there.
No.
Yep, you gotta be there.
Yeah, unless he's.
It's not like the legislature, Judge, where people push your lights for you.
Hey, we can have lunch, just vote. Okay, forget it. So the motion passes. Moving on to item number 5, discuss and consider approving and executing a lease agreement between Nueces County and Texas Boll Weevil Eradication Foundation for the Nueces County Show Barn Armory Building in Robstown in the amount of $4,140.31 per month, effective June 1st. Who's?
So move.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any other discussion?
Yes, Judge.
Yes, go ahead.
So I know that we've been doing this lease for quite some years. I know it's a benefit to the Texas Boll Weevil Association because, as a renter, you don't have to necessarily put concerns or efforts into the upkeep of the building. I know we've had requests on improving the roof, I believe, Juan, is that correct? There's been requests for that. I just wonder at what point or at some point should we consider in the future, right? I'm not going to say that to do that today, but maybe for us to plan long-term as far as maybe creating a contract that we could sell to them, right? Something that's reasonable to them, something that we really get off our hands, because we got to see, is this truly an asset, or is this becoming more of a burden? And I know the work they do is beneficial. I'm glad they're a tenant there. It uses a space that probably no one else would, because it's kind of an unusual, out-of-the-way place behind the old show barn. But at some point, should we consider selling off this property to them, right, at a reasonable, fair market value price that would take it off of our hands as well? That, just a discussion. It's not anything I'm asking to even put into action, but just something so that you could hear this out loud publicly, so that when we do come again up for another contract renewal, that we can start planning in the weeks, months ahead of that to look at the feasibility of, does that make sense? And if it doesn't, then that's fine. We move on, continue the relationship we have. They're great tenants. $4,100 a month is very helpful to the county. But, in the short term, if we looked at selling it immediately, we would get an infusion of cash. Once again, going back to the budget, that would, I think, help. So we just got to figure out, does that monthly amount, that lease agreement amount, pay for itself, right? Does it pay for itself, and is it worth cover the cost, right? And so that's just my concern with that. So I will be supporting this today. In fact, I make a motion to support this contract, but just for, like I said, future discussion.
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
We already had a motion and a second, yes.
Yes, sir.
So, any other discussion?
Yeah, I got some,
Yes, sir,
I
Commissioner.
need to say, I think it's a good point. I think it really, will benefit us to consider selling the building, getting rid of it. Cause I think that, I'm not sure the money that we make from there, where does it go? Where is it spent? If it goes back to the building, under Nueces County, or the building itself, or does it go to the funds that we give them every year? I think it's $100,000 or more. How are we utilizing that money that we're making from that rental? And, if it's going right back to maintenance and we're not even looking at it, well, maybe it's worth selling it and get rid of it, and then we make that money. So that was just my, I don't know, Commissioner, maybe might want to look into it, and come up with maybe a solution, and what the difference would be. And so, I think that it's something very worthwhile to look at, and, but I'm concerned mostly about the money. We talk about almost $50,000, from that venue. So, where does it go? Where does the money go to? Can we identify that? Is it building funds? What building funds? But anyway, Judge, that's my thing. I think we need to identify the monies, how much, where do they go? What do we use them for? We're not benefiting by it, but maybe it's worth selling the building. So I think I would encourage Commissioner Morales to, it's a good point, look into it, and, you know, bring us maybe a couple options and let's do what we need to do.
Yes, sir, and it's a 3-year term, so we could start roughly 2 years from now, and it could take up to about a year, I'm sure, to have discussions and check the feasibility. So that's something I'd be willing to do with Juan, Edward, whoever else it needs to be included, beginning in May of 2025, just to give us about a year out, and of course with legal as well.
Is there anything in our contract that precludes us from selling it as, I mean, people sell rental property all the time. Is there something that says we can't sell it under?
Right.
Within the contract, I can find out before too long. But, I mean, before the.
So
court's over.
and I'm not saying that's what we're gonna do immediately. I think moving ahead with your evaluation or study on what it benefits, I don't think we have to wait that long to see, because if
No.
it's not beneficial, I
I don't
think
think so
then
either, Judge.
there's something, you know, who knows, they may be interested in buying it too, so. Yes.
The
Okay,
other thing, I'd
well,
like to
we,
audit for the auditor, I'd like for the auditor to get back with us and see what the money is going to and how is it being spent.
yeah, I think, we're gonna task Commissioner Mottas with moving forward on that, so he will get that information for us in the future. But we have a motion to pass this rental agreement. We have a motion and a second. Is there any other discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed, same sign. The motion passes. Item number 6, discuss and consider participation in the unclaimed capital credits received by the Texas Comptroller of Public Accounts from electric cooperatives under section 74.602 of the Texas Property Code. And Ida?
Yes, Judge,
Yeah, that's
this is
just-
something, yes, it's just a request, and the county always participates in this kind of program, so it's just bringing it before the court, just to, again, to this, as the court decides to participate again on this unclaimed capital credits.
So move.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any other discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. The motion passes.
Your also says in here to certify the use of funds,
To certify the use of funds?
I'm sorry, the purpose of the use. I think there was an issue maybe last year where they were used for something.
Does it-
Oh,
Yeah.
So last year, they were trying to use it for something, to relocate some funds for the, Nueces County.
They were trying to be used for what they weren't intended for, so.
So what
Yeah,
can
this-
we use it for? What are we using this for then? What would we certify?
But this is under, code, 3, let me just pull it right now, very quick.
General
38100.
uses say.
Section 381.004, and the general capital credits can be used mainly for this economic development, Judge.
Yeah, business development, economic development, advertise the county, its vicinity,
Yeah,
all
small
these kind of
businesses,
things, yes.
development, that's correct, to improve the extent which
comprehensive
women
literacy
marry.
programs, encouragement, promotion, improvement, application of the arts to support a children's advocacy center.
That's
Yes.
correct. So as
Okay.
long as between, and the court always approves this to do it, between this, the law, what is the 3, it's, that's correct.
The CASA, I believe, to the
It's
children's.
gone to
the children's
to
advocacy.
CASA.
Mhm.
Mhm.
I believe that it's previously gone for the family protection fee account, and then
That's
it's
correct.
allocated out as, yes. It's allocated out to the CASA, the Purple Door, Children's Advocacy Center.
But that's for next agenda is about that.
This is just a renewal of what we've done before. isn't
That's
it?
correct. This is again, it's just to participate again and to get the funds. That's it. That's
But it
only for
says
6.
to certify the purpose, then the certification would be that the purpose, funds have to be used on what their allowable uses. So we don't need to say any more than that. Yeah,
Add it
yeah.
on there, yeah, for the
Okay.
record.
And then number 7, discuss and consider authorizing fiscal year 22-23 $30,000 budgeted allocation from the family protection fee account. Authorized contracts for $5,000 each to the Special Advocates CASA of the Coastal Bend, Children's Advocacy Center of Coastal Bend, Family Counseling Service, Nueces County CPS Community Partners, the ARC Assessment Center and Emergency Shelter, and the Purple Door. This would be a total allocation of $30,000.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any other discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Commissioner Gonzalez?
I made the motion. Aye.
Okay.
I'm
Oh,
sorry.
sorry. Aye. Yes, okay.
I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Must be the medication early.
We're good.
You're
We're
pretty
good.
clear
We'll keep you
today,
on your
man. You're
toes,
sounding
yes.
pretty clear to me.
Okay, item number 8, discuss and consider allocation of American Rescue Plan Act, ARPA funds to the Department of Public Works for the Nueces County Courthouse and Jail plumbing replacement, repairs, and related matters. As you all know, we've had that issue come up since I came here in January, and we have got to get some major work done on our
How
plumbing.
much are we talking about? What's the amount?
Juan, did you have the estimates? I know we had talked earlier about 1 million, but is that for the easy repair, or is that to get the job done?
Judge, Commissioners, and just, I know we had talked about $1 million. I know that we're looking at probably evaluating the existing conditions. I know they're in poor, some of them are in poor condition.
I would say a whole lot.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Yes, and we did replace some of the piping yesterday morning downstairs in the first floor, and we took some pictures of that. So it is in pretty bad shape. So we would have to prepare some specifications, Judge, and then get with some contractors to give us some proposals to repair the piping system. So estimated right now is about $1 million, Judge, Commissioner.
Oh, I'm
not sure what the.
I would say $1 million right now, but I don't see a backup, so maybe we can
There's no
vote on that.
backup, so we're gonna have to bring this one
apologize.
back too, so there's no way we can move forward on this. I would say bring it back to, I have a motion to bring it back to the 21st agenda.
Second.
We have a motion and a
And can
second.
you- And then as the backup, can you prepare the as a more detailed, backup of what's going to be? And then we need to know too, from Lulu with that backup, how much we've got left.
Yes, sir, we will. We'll take care of it.
Yes.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Did we vote on that? I'm sorry. No, okay, to
We
table.
voted to table.
I don't think we voted.
We didn't vote. We had a motion and a second to table. All those in favor again, let's do it one more time, make sure. Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Bring it to the 21st meeting, yes.
Aye.
On item number 9, I have been asked if we want to take it to executive. We have another item relating to that in executive. Do y'all want me to move that to executive?
Yeah, did everybody get that report? I mean, I got it, but I didn't know if it got sent to everybody. So I want to make sure that that gets to everybody too before we go into executive.
It was sent to everybody.
Okay. Then,
That would be moving 3A9 to executive, yes.
I definitely think this is going to bode a discussion in public
Afterwards,
because of
yes,
the allegations, and
yes.
as Commissioner Mata said, they're very serious. But
Absolutely,
But since it is all related, I'm fine with going to executive if that's what everybody wants to do.
yes. So I'm moving on to 310. Discuss and consider amending the processes, procedures, and execution of ceremonial resolutions and related matters. There is nothing on here, but it was a discussion that we had. I know we had talked about bringing those earlier. I did talk to the county attorney, and we did contact the city about that. And if you want your signatures on something, it has to be brought to the court. If it is just the county judge signing, we can do the earlier thing. So that's the reason that we didn't do our 8:15 this morning, because
8:45.
8:45, whatever it was.
Don't 8:15 me.
So if we want it to be a resolution proclamation authorized by the county of Nueces, then it will have to be our regular agenda, 9 o'clock meeting. If we want it to be something separate that is only signed, but it wouldn't be on behalf of Nueces County, it would be on behalf of the Nueces County judge, then it can come previously. And I assume that we would probably want to just keep things the way they are with all of our signatures on them.
I thought what we had done, though, and I need to go back and look at the minutes, I apologize if I'm not remembering, I thought we had made the motion to just change the resolutions to 8:45 and figure it out later, and then come back. Did we not do it that way? Am I just not remembering right? 'Cause-
We did, but that was part of this, because we had resolution, this next meeting, they were asking me, well, are we gonna do this at 8:45? I said, well, we can't. We need
No,
to
I meant-
figure out how we're gonna do it.
I'm sorry, I thought I thought the motion was, and I need to go back and look, but I thought the motion was to start the meeting at 8:45 with resolutions, and then the regular meeting, the rest of the meeting would start at 9:15, so that everybody else we could do resolutions first,
But
still
we'll
as a
still
quorum.
gavel in
Right,
as a
right,
meeting,
right.
and yes,
Right.
okay.
But
The only thing that's gonna change is the time.
Just
in the morning.
8:45,
That's it.
yeah.
Right, I thought that's what we said, but I'm not sure, so I'm not.
Oh,
so
then
that-
I misunderstood.
No,
That
no,
was
no,
my
no,
bad.
I'm not sure you did.
Yeah.
But I'm saying, until we want to do that, we could still do the resolutions first, get everybody here at 8:45, the rest of the meeting continues at 9:15. We just put resolutions first,
So
gavel
that
in,
people coming for
8:45,
other
right.
things aren't sitting here if they don't want to
Right.
be here, that the actual meeting will start at 9 and
Or
8.
9:15, or
Yeah.
whatever we come up with.
But then if you don't have any or nobody's here, we're sitting here for 20 minutes waiting for people to show
No,
up.
it would still be the
Yeah.
meeting. That's what I'm trying to say. The
Well, then
meeting
it's
would
really
start at
defeating the
8:45
purpose.
with
It's like
resolutions.
people are going to get here early anyway.
If they get here early, the way you post it, you put the resolutions at 8:45 and regular meetings start to 9:15. You post that on the agenda.
So we get through with resolutions at 9 o'clock, then we can't start the regular meeting until 9:15 because
Or you
it's
can
posted.
say 9. I mean, you
Yeah.
can say 9 if you want to. I'm just throwing that out, is putting resolutions first is all I was trying to get to.
They
'cause-
already are first.
Yeah, just the regular business begins immediately after resolutions are complete.
Right.
You just gotta let the people that are
It's
gonna come in early, let
basically
them know what
like
time we're gonna
Commissioner
start.
Hernandez said, it's the same thing, we just start a meeting at 8:45 instead of 9.
Can I say a couple of words, Commissioner?
Yes.
I just, I don't wanna go back again to change the time. I think if we do 9 o'clock to 9:15 resolutions, if there's none or whatever, I don't think there'll be a time where there's none. We start the meeting, right? I mean, 9:15, the official meeting starts. So unless you haven't finished, but, I'm not for going back again, changing another time. So 9 o'clock would be for me, starting off with resolutions, and for the judge signs them by herself, it really don't make a difference to me. So
I
she's signing
think-
on behalf of the county anyway, so. But anyway, that's my deal. I mean, we're gonna do that, we're gonna do 9 o'clock to 9:15, 9:15 the meeting starts. Keep it ready.
I have one final question.
Yes.
Will the prayer, and everything else that goes with it, will it start at 8:15 or when the initial meeting starts?
8:45, but no, it would start at the 9 or 9:15 meeting, yes.
Yeah, it was just literally gavel in, do resolutions at whatever time you want to do it, and then everything else starts. That was all I was, if that's what we're going to do. And I'm with Commissioner Gonzalez, I don't know if it matters one way or the other, have people's signatures on it or not, but whatever. And so we're probably spending more time on it than we anticipated, so we can move
Table
on
it
or.
for longer.
Yeah, whatever,
More
until somebody
discussion
comes
later.
up with something a
Yeah.
little more solid.
Okay.
So motion to table 10 to June 21st,
Indefinitely.
maybe.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding. June 21st.
Indefinitely.
Or just, yeah, that's fine. Table indefinitely.
Until we come up with a plan.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's fine.
Okay. We have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Commissioner Gonzalez, did we lose you? Are you in? Aye, okay. Sorry. Item number 11, discuss and consider the next Commissioners Court meeting date and related matters. We have a special meeting called to open the bank, or to vote on the bank applications on June the 14th, a one-item agenda meeting. And then our next regular meeting is June 21st. Does anyone
Just as a reminder.
I will
all
be
f-
out of town
Yeah,
and
all three have to be here physically in person.
the rest of
or it
you
doesn't
have to
work.
be here because Commissioner Chesney and I will both be gone. So in order to have the meeting, you'll have to be present.
Isaac will not get other plans from me, I'll be here.
Yeah. Thank you. All right, so moving on then to, there's nothing we need to vote on for that because we already voted on the June 14th meeting at the last, yeah. Public Works.
I'm sorry,
item-
Judge.
Yeah, go ahead.
Back to the special meeting, can we start it earlier?
Oh, is there a time? We don't have, I don't know if we have.
We
a
set it for like 8:30, just.
What time, Commissioner?
8:30?
We can do
Just
that.
kind of get it in and out.
Yeah,
Okay,
it's
so next
one
meeting,
item thing, so,
8:30?
yeah.
This is a
Okay.
special meeting, yeah,
That's
Just
correct.
the 14th.
yeah.
Okay.
Commissioner Gonzalez, you gotta agree to that because it's the
Yeah.
three of y'all, not us.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Are you okay? The rest of the court is okay with that?
I'm fine with it.
Commissioner
Need to
Gonzalez?
Commissioner Gonzalez, you're on mute still. Are you okay with, yeah?
I'm there at 8:30.
8:30, okay.
That's the spirit.
Thank you, sir.
You might have to take a hospital bed, it's okay.
Bring your pills.
Okay, now moving on to B, Public Works. Item number 1, discuss and consider acceptance of Rabbit Run Drive and Coyote Trail into Nueces County roadway inventory for maintenance contingent on the South Prairie Estate Unit 2 Homeowners Association.
You want me to go, Commissioner? Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
I'll jump in, don't worry.
All right. Judge, Commissioners, this is a Rabbit Run Drive and Coyote Trail. This is a subdivision that wasn't approved a while back due to the, some culverts not being installed with the developer. The homeowners association have contacted Commissioner and myself and are requesting that if they install the culverts per the plans and specifications, that if we could accept the roads for maintenance. As part of this contingent agreement is that we'll be out there once, if approved by court, to look at the elevations once the culverts are installed, and then we'll recommend to the court that to go ahead and accept the roads in our maintenance part of Public Works.
And on this one, so for the court's edification, the county attorney's office had recommended we not do it contingent, which I don't really understand why. So I need to understand why. What I need to be able to make sure is let the neighborhood know that the court's intention would be to do that, because it's kind of a they're doing these culverts based on and spending the money on these culverts based on our representation that if we do that, that assuming that the court approved, that we would accept those roads. So we're kind of in a little bit of a sticky wicket here in the sense that I can't speak for the court, obviously, and so the court would have to vote on it. And I don't want I don't want to misrepresent to them that if they do these culverts that we'll accept, that's going to be Juan's recommendation, and that's going to be my ask of the court. But I don't want to. I wouldn't want them to go put in these culverts and then the court come back and say, "Oops, no, we're just kidding." So my thought was to do it as a contingency, but I'm not sure why. But Kent responded and said he didn't think that was a thing to do. So I need to understand why that's not the thing to do, because I'm certainly willing to listen to that. But I also want to make sure that we don't encourage these folks to do something and then we don't support it. So that's the box that this one is in, right? And so I need a little help, I guess, Jenny, as to why.
Can I say something?
I do have a
Can I say
question.
something?
Yes.
Hold on, Juan. Can Commissioner, just a response to your statement, I agree with you, everything you said, but the only thing I don't agree is we can accept them ahead of time with a contingency that they're gonna build to our standards.
Right.
And if they're not to our standards, we're not gonna accept them. So I think this is where Public Works really comes on. We can't just accept something without being done to our standards.
Right.
Any road that we accept from the developer ahead of time, there's a clause there that it will be done to according to county standards. And if it's not, then we don't accept it. So they could do the road and they can do whatever they want, but if something is not to our standard, they need to go back and correct that before we accept it. So, just because they we're gonna accept it, they're gonna give it to us, when then there's some issues, why should we be responsible for those issues? You know, but I agree with you, I mean, it can be done ahead of time, but we have to have a clause there. And why, now you can come in if you want on the, and it's not only the road that we have to consider, or public work has to consider, is drainage, you know? Is drainage gonna be improved, you know, so I think there's some issues here. Yeah, we can approve it, and I don't care, I mean, I don't mind approving it with a clause, if they are gonna build it according to our standards and to improve drainage, conditions, I mean. So, I don't know, Juan, might wanna jump in there and. see what-
Yes, sir.
what you say.
And I agree, Commissioner.
I think, you're good, okay.
And I agree, Commissioner. I think the main items that was still left in the subdivision a while back was that there was 4 culverts that weren't installed per the plans and specifications that were designed by the engineer. And those are the 4 culverts that the homeowners association will be installing as part of this acceptance of the roads. My understanding is that the roads were installed per the plans and specifications during the time of the development. So the only item was just those 4 culverts. There are 4 24-inch culverts, and they're pretty much together. And that's all they would have to do in order for us to accept it, or that we would recommend.
And that was, the original ask was just to do this as a conditional approval, but Kent kicked it back, and I don't know why, and that's what or don't know why, I'm not sure I agree, and so I just need a little further explanation, so the court has full disclosure and can make a decision. I don't understand why we can't do it as a conditional based on what Commissioner Gonzalez says, what I've said, what Juan has said.
The risk is that it could be argued that it is an acceptance and that the condition, without being very clearly articulated, and hopefully we would ask for a report back from the county engineer that it has been done successfully, that be brought back to court with a possible vote to say, yes, now it is done, so that there's an end to it, it's done, it's not, there's no question about it anymore. It can be brought back to court with the report that it's been done successfully.
So if you would like to give me a motion that would be specific for you and satisfy you, because I just want to make sure that these folks know that if the court's willing to do it by their vote, that they can go build the culverts in good faith, as long as they build them under the standards that Public Works dictates.
Yeah.
So if you want to try that, you can recite it, and I'll say that's my motion to Kara.
Well, if you could call it back, because this is brand new and I don't want to do that on the fly and make a mistake.
Sure. You want to try to write it and we'll come back after executive session?
Please.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine by me if you want to try, shoot one out there, because it's just, like I said, I think we can get this done. I just don't want to make them build their culverts first, although they need to anyway, I get it, but they're doing this at our request so that we can accept their roads, and we want to do that.
And don't forget, once we take the road, then we maintain the road.
Right.
It's gonna be our responsibility.
That's correct.
Okay, well, we'll bring that back. Move on then to, there's no action until we come back after that. Item B2, receive a presentation from Turner Ramirez on Constable Precinct 5 Calderon Building renovations. Turner's not here, it's going to be you.
Yes, ma'am. Connie, I think there's a drawing, Judge and Commissioner, this is some improvements to the constable's offices. What it includes doing some ADA accessibility to the building, and about approximately 1,200 square feet of improvements.
Let me jump in. I'd be remiss and be unequitable if I didn't say that there was no backup on this one either, Judge, when we got this. So
The drawing wasn't.
it's just a drawing, but if we're going to have to,
If we're gonna follow the
if it's just a
rules,
presentation, then, but it says discuss and approving recommended funding sources, discuss to obtain cooperative bids. I mean, there was literally zero in my packet on this. So So
Okay.
again, I don't know.
I apologize.
No, I mean, and again, and she's not here, but I'm gonna say that the duty of the county manager is to ensure that the policy of the backup of this court is done. And so this is another agenda item where we don't have, backup, and that's what the county manager is specifically responsible for. The judge sets the agenda, but the county manager makes sure the backup there. That's how this is supposed to work, and this is not happening. So she should have been on you,
Yes,
and
sir.
you should have done it.
Yes, sir.
And this is on you too, but she should have been on you to say, look, we're not going forward, we're not doing this, Judge. She should have said, Judge, we don't have backup, we can't put this one on, and it would have stopped it, but that's not happening again, so I just.
Well,
And
we
fairness-
got the
yeah, go
constable
ahead.
here. I mean, I think we could at least get the
At least here,
presentation.
yes.
I mean, we don't have to
Mhm.
take action. I mean, that
I
can be
agree.
worked out.
I'm okay
by
with
the
that.
next meeting, but
I'm
I agree. But is Philip or anyone from his firm gonna be here? or-
Yes, Commissioner, they're planning on being here at 11
So-
o'clock.
Oh, at 11?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Well, and let me
Can we move on to another
clarify
item?
on behalf of IDA as well. In our discussions, and not anything on your want or anything, if this
sir.
is put on by a commissioner, we do not pull anything, whether it has support or anything else. We do not pull commissioners' agenda items, or they have been told not to. I hope they haven't. If they do, you need to let me know, but yes.
Philip's
I
here.
see Philip's here. Come
Yes,
on
ma'am.
up, Philip. I know we can't move forward on anything, but we'd love to hear about it
Well-
since you're here and you don't.
Well, Judge, just for the record, I thought this was a public works item because it's under public work, but maybe it's not. And I don't know who submitted it because I literally have nothing even.
Pimentel did, so yes, it could have been
I
polled.
mean, we've
yes.
been working with Juan on it, so
Yeah,
it's not a big deal.
so
But
Right.
this is,
still,
you're
let's-
correct on that. I thought it
Like I
was
said,
Commissioner
the
Modas.
action doesn't have to be today.
No, I'm okay.
Like the
Yeah.
finances, we can wait 2 weeks if we need to, or if it's a quick motion, maybe we do it on the 14th, but.
Well, and just for edification too, I'm a little sensitive to this one today because one of my items did get pulled, that shouldn't have been pulled. So, because, another staff member somehow told staff, and so my item got pulled without coming to me, and the only reason I know it got pulled because I see the agenda and it's already been posted and I can't do anything about it. So that was another
That
one
is
that I've taken that
correct.
up with the county manager as well.
And in the future, anything like that has to be signed by me, not just pulled. It has to have a signature. We get signatures on every piece of, any paper that goes to different departments. It will require a signature in the future, and I apologize for that, yes.
Oh, no, that's.
It wasn't me, but I did
No,
take
no,
care
but
of it,
you-
yes.
I know, but you don't need to apologize for something you didn't do, but it's nice of you, but.
Go ahead now. Can we hear your presentation so you don't have to come back on the 21st maybe and do the same
Sure.
presentation since we can't move
Yeah.
forward with any action?
Well, first of all, thank you, Judge and Commissioners. Sorry, we're walking in right at the exact moment here. We were watching the agenda and y'all scooted up pretty quick, so we were trying not to speed or break any laws getting here. But thank y'all for having us here. I'm Philip Ramirez with Turner Ramirez Architects, and I have with me Joseph Mahoyne, who's one of our project managers. And he has been working with the constable. Obviously, we had earlier this year completed and cut the ribbon on the Calderon Clinic as well. And so one of the other projects we had initially discussed as we were looking at that building that needed some renovation was the constable's office that is there in the Calderon building there in Robstown, and talking to Commissioner Modas about the needs of the constable there. And so we began to kind of take a look at that. There was some old leave over legacy type stuff that was in that space. I think there were some holding cells back from way back when that we.
I went and looked.
Yeah, yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
So there was some legacy stuff that kind of sort of made that space inefficient for the needs and the uses of the constable. And so Joseph, again, met with the constable multiple times, and we kind of went through multiple iterations to try to make sure that that space could be renovated in a more functional and efficient way for the constable's office. And so I'm going to have him real quick take y'all through the plan, the demolition plan real quick, and then also the new floor plan, and explain some of the needs of the constable, and then we can discuss overall budget, and I'll come back and kind of discuss that. But
Okay, thank you.
You happen to have the demolition plan?
it's right there.
This is all I
Oh, this
No,
is
it's
the
just
floor
the-
plan. That's okay. You
That's
can
okay.
kind of-
Well, essentially, all that area was demolished. Everything beyond the scope of work, all this stuff wasn't touched. The important parts are going to be, as you walk in from the left-hand side, We have now a new reception area, right there, the door right above that. A new reception area with some access windows. They're going to go up there and talk to the receptionist there. It's going to be a secure section. They're going to be able to press a button, get into a secure hallway there, and to the north of it, actually it looks like an older plan. They're going to be a meeting area or a training room, as well as some offices to the right of that. That's going to be the patrol offices as well as the chief deputy office. And then to the bottom right is going to be the constable offices. And to the left of that is going to be the bullpen for the rest of the staff. The evidence room is going to be located at the top right next to the chief's office. And there's going to be an IT room right below that.
Approximately how many square feet are we touching, Joseph?
About 2250.
Okay. So that's kind of the basis of it. It's a fairly simple.
In the
Sorry,
microphone.
it's a fairly sorry, Judge. That's the basis of it. There's a couple of things to note here. With regards to the building, we also have a provision for some improvements on the exterior ramp to make sure that outdoor access kind of to the west is ADA accessible and compliant in that regard. We know that's obviously been a big issue with the county and making sure these facilities are compliant. So there is some upgrades to that ramp to make sure that it is accessible for all of our residents that are going to be utilizing this space. And I think generally speaking, it's a smaller portion of the Calderon. You know, the clinic was about twice this size, and so with the clinic having been just recently done, budgetary wise, we're looking at the range of kind of $280,000 to $290,000 for kind of these renovations. We expect them to come around that range. Construction prices have somewhat stabilized. I don't know what y'all are seeing exactly, but in our world, we've seen them stabilize a little bit. So we know labor's still an issue, but material prices have become more stable, and we've got a better understanding of long lead items. You know, after kind of post-pandemic. Pretty much, you know, things are not back to normal, but at least we know what we have to order ahead of time in order to keep things on schedule when we start getting involved with the contracting and the contractor portion of the project. So we're within that target range. We believe the project, you know, it can be delivered in that available funding, which we understand is, you know, somewhere in that $280,000 range. Again, you know, it's modernizing the space, very similar finishes, very similar look to what you see at the clinic. So it's kind of modernizing that space, more adequate lighting, you know, kind of LED lighting, you know, getting that space modernized. Even though the functions are a little bit different, but the look and the feel of it would be similar to what you see over at the clinic and those renovations as well, which is nice and clean. You know, it's not overly done. It's just it's functional and it's clean, and it's a good operating space for those individuals working in the constable's office to have a place to work and make it accessible to your constituents. So, unless I have any other questions, Judge, I think, you know, we're.
I think this is a great plan, and as I said, I was over there and actually got taken through there to see this, and it is a very small confining space, but they are really utilizing everything that they can out of it, and a lot of this area in the back that they're opening up, and those are cells, I guess, basically what it was, or something.
They've certainly made it work as best they could, given some of those constraints.
Definitely be an improvement
Yes,
for
ma'am.
over there, yes.
Mhm.
Do you have any other things you want to talk about, John, on this?
No,
or anything,
no,
since we
I think
can't
this is a
do anything?
good start
Yeah.
for us. You know, hoping that by the next meeting, we can have all the finances put together, presented for the court to review. And I know Teresa's been helpful in helping us allocate or locate what funding source to use. And so that will be before the court's approval, I guess, I'm assuming on the 21st. I did bring up, Philip, and I don't know if you were part of that conversation or not. I know I mentioned it to Juan, but I know one request on the JP side, so just literally on the other side of the wall, there's a storage room there, right? And I think I mentioned it as far as his main request was, let's create a fire-safe room, right, for some of those records there. There are records that probably at one point could or should get to the possession of the clerk. I don't know what the JPs control at what time frame, but there needs to be some way of securing that, and there it's a simple simple drawers, storage. It's not, they may be fireboxes, but the room itself is not, the room is not cordoned off. It's just like, it's part of a closet basically where you walk in. So I don't know if that's been part of the discussion or not, Juan, but if we can maybe look at including that into this plan, just because while you're already there, it's probably cheaper to get you in on that rather than bring somebody else in or delay that further, so.
Yes, sir. I know I had Rocky working on that,
Did you?
Commissioner.
Oh, okay.
Yes, but I'll get with Philip on it also.
Okay, thank you, appreciate it.
You know, that was, my question to, Mr. Ramirez, if you have, will this, upgrade include the JP's office, you know, front office upgrade to match everything else that you're gonna touch? Because, at one point, the whole Calderon building is to be brought up to ADA standards like courthouse. So, I'm just saying, will this renovation touch the JP's office by any chance? No?
Commissioner, so, first of all, good to see you. Hope your recovery's going well. But we have not been tasked with that right now, Commissioner. Certainly, if it's something, you know, that we need to look at, we're certainly open to doing that and would be happy to help, given that there is some aspects that we're already there working in the building. We're familiar with the systems, but we're not currently doing that. But I think obviously if Juan, if you guys so choose that there is a need there or define that there is a need there, we'd be happy to assist the county in looking at that a little
Okay.
further, Commissioner.
All right,
Yes,
thank
sir.
you.
And Judge, unless there's any other questions,
I
that
think
concludes
we're
our
good.
presentation.
Thank you. I need a motion. You want to make the motion to table to the 21st? Yeah,
Yes,
bring it
Judge.
back on the 21st.
Motion to table the discussion, or to consider approving the recommended funding sources and authorizing Public Works to obtain competitive bids, and table that to the June 21st meeting.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to bring this back to the 21st. All those in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposed, same sign. Thank you. I think you are ready to
Thank you all.
bring
Thank you.
back the B1.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, the road, is that ready? Do you want to bring that back before we go?
Yes, ma'am. If that's acceptable to the court, I appreciate it. Judge, this
The
is.
Rabbit Run Drive in Coyote. Mhm.
Right, and this is the motion as proposed by the county attorney, motion to accept Rabbit Run Drive and Coyote Trail into the Nueces County roadway inventory for maintenance upon report to the Commissioners Court from the county engineer that the South Prairie Estate Unit 2 Homeowners Association has satisfactorily completed drainage improvements as shown on the South Prairie Unit 2 construction drawings. I'll forward this to you, Kara. Just need a second.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposed, same sign. The motion passes. Thank you.
Thank you, Jenny.
Then we don't have
Thank
to
you,
bring. that
Judge,
back.
for letting me bring that back.
Yes, no problem. Item number 3 is discuss and consider authorizing and approving supplemental agreement 3 with Hanson Professional Services 1, and I'm told there's no backup on this as
There's
well.
no backup?
No. There was nothing turned, does anybody else have it? Is it just
There is
mine?
There's a supplemental agreement number 2?
There's a supplemental agreement number 3, Judge. It's on
Oh,
the.
it is?
It's on the back
It's on the,
of a page in the packet. It's hard to find.
okay,
If you go,
maybe the next one. Oh, okay, well then we'll move forward,
Can y'all
yes,
pick
okay.
up the volume on the speakers by any chance?
Pick up the volume on the speakers, maybe.
we're trying to be real quiet, Joe, so we don't bother you over there.
So go ahead, Juan, then. If we've
Yes,
got a
ma'am.
supplemental
Trying to
agreement, let's
sleep,
get something done.
Yes, ma'am. Judge and Commissioners, Public Works is recommending the supplemental agreement number 3 with Hanson Professional Services for the stormwater management services. And they've been doing this for the past few years, and this helps us stay out of trouble. And I say this, but
This
with
is
TCEQ.
With TCEQ. This is
ma'am.
their last renewal on that
This will
contract
be the
as
last
well.
renewal. Yes,
Yes, okay, yes. Do I have a motion?
So
And can I get a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor, say aye.
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 The motion passes. Let it be noted that Commissioner Modas has stepped out, but. Item number 4, discuss and consider approval of agreement with Tesla to accept the donation of road improvements to County Road 30, County Road 79, and County Road 81 adjacent to the Tesla facility.
Judge and Commissioners, Public Works is recommending the approval of the agreement for Tesla to accept the donations for road improvements on County Road 30, 79, and County Road 81. I'm gonna say it's approximately 3 miles worth of roads. So we're recommending, Judge and Commissioner.
So move.
Second, and discussion, if that's okay, Judge?
Yes, please.
Wow, right?
Yes, sir.
I think this is, and there was a story, I think, on Channel 3 last night, and I appreciate that they picked that up, maybe Channel 6, I can't remember. But I think this is an outstanding contribution to our community and needs to be recognized as such. Many companies come into our community and overpromise and underdeliver, and to date, Tesla has done the opposite. They have not asked this county for any tax abatements. They went ahead and moved forward without it. I think this court would have, I'm not speaking for, but I think the court would have given them something. I certainly would have. But at the same time, the fact that they didn't ask is gift number one. And this is, being here is gift number one. Gift number two was that, and certainly I think this is a significant thing that they're doing, spending almost, $3.8 million to fix our county
quite
roads,
significant.
which we don't have. Bottom line, we don't have this. So the fact that they're doing it shows yet again how committed they are to Nueces County and that part of our county. And I don't represent that part of the county, but we all represent the county in one way, shape, or form. And that's a great gift, and I'm very appreciative of Tesla stepping up and doing this. So thank you very much.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Judge.
We have a motion and a second, and I really wish Commissioner Modas
I'll say a
was.
couple of things, Judge.
Yes, please, sorry.
Again, on kind of piggyback on Commissioner Chesney, when I spoke to Karen, it was a touch and go on the abatement, and, when I spoke to them, I got the impression really that they weren't that concerned with the abatement, and of course, this was gonna be a win-win situation for both of us, but now became a win for Nueces County, and I really, I really want to thank Karen and her team for moving forward and making this happen. So, but I know the engineers had something to do with it also. JJ was involved with the engineering group. But, I just wanted to say that I think that we're looking at bigger things, and hopefully with Tesla down the road, and hopefully it will continue to grow. And, and I know you were there, we got all the same impression that this is just a start, it's just the beginning. And I think it's gonna be something that we've been looking for a long time. So I just wanna thank again, the Commissioner said, Tesla, made Nueces County a win to count Nueces County. And, but they're committed, and that's what counts, so I really appreciate that.
Absolutely, agree. Commissioner Modas, did you want to say anything?
Thank you, Judge. Anytime we get anyone that can help donate to the improvement of roads in Nueces County, that's always a great thing. That helps us out. We know we're limited with our budget. They are going to put a lot of heavy loads to that road, so it comes warranted. They need to contribute, but this is what we ask about corporate partners contributing to the community. It's something tangible people can see and experience. And so I thank Tesla for doing that. And today it's just the donation part, and part two is next meeting, or when do we see, I guess there's an abandonment part?
The next one would be the abandonment, recommendation for abandonment of County Road 79 and County Road 18, right?
Okay.
18,
All
yes, sir.
Okay. Well, thank you all for working on it.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes, sir. We'll be coordinating with them on the construction part. We'll have our staff out there monitoring and overseeing the construction part of it, Judge and Commissioner, so we'll be out there.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Juan.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor, say aye.
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 Good, thank you.
Commissioner Gonzalez, are you an aye?
I'm an aye.
I thought you would be. Thank you, sir.
Hey, there's no I in team, man. You're not come on.
That's why I
Any
didn't say nothing.
opposed, same sign. The motion passes unanimous. Thank you. Moving on to item C, purchasing. Discuss and consider method of procurement, RFP for jail diversion program services. Authorize a purchasing agent to publish a notice and adopt an order delegating evaluation authority to a selection committee. So we have a couple of things we have to do in that.
Right.
Yes.
So this is an item Commissioner Gonzalez had asked me to place before the courts for y'all, for your consideration. Some notations that I had some conversations with Johnny Hip in the hospital district. We understand that the spend in this category for jail diversion program, currently the hospital district allocates $3 million approximately for this. If we were to move forward on this, we already get these services, I believe, currently from MHID, and the county has allocated funds for that. If we were to move forward on this, I understand we would need to make a modification to our MOU with the hospital district to indicate the funding portion of it, and then we would have a separate contract between Nueces County and whatever service provider got selected by the court, if we were to have a bidder that provided services that the county was wanting to move forward with. And so today, we're just asking for the court's consideration, and I believe Commissioner Jagmay can speak better to this.
I'd like to move that we move forward. If I get a second, we'll get a discussion going.
And a second for discussion, I don't know exactly what we're doing, so.
We have a motion.
And the reason I move forward on this one here, because we have some issues, and a lot of the issues has always been at the jail, and, you know, I've always thought that, to me, that jail diversions is a 24/7 program, not an 8 to 5 program, not a, you don't receive probably, I would say 9% out of 10, maybe 9 inmates will receive it for 5 o'clock. You know, they don't come in during the daytime. Mostly they do come, but, you know, I think your percentages come after 5 o'clock. And, you know, it's kind of really, I want to see what's out there, what other programs are out there that can benefit Nueces County. I think the hospital district is open to also see what is out there. I'd like to thank Johnny Hip for working with Michael's team to put this thing together, to come up with a process of what we're looking for. So this will give us an idea, other than not knowing what if somebody out there's got a program, the 100%, and who knows, we might stay with what we have, but at least we'll know what's out there, and you got that opportunity or the chance to determine what we have, or we'll continue moving forward with somebody else, and what are they offering, and what the commitments are, and so I think there's a lot of unanswered questions here, and as far as MHID, I think they're really 9% out of 10%, 9% mental health. And I think that jail diversion has always been number 2, but there's a lot of money being spent on jail diversion, but I just don't think it's been utilized to its potential. So this is why I met with the hospital district, and we talked about it. So, but anyway, this is why it's on the Commissioner's Court now, and I just want to move forward to see what else is out there that's going to benefit our county jail, what's going to benefit our reduction of inmates, and how we're going to benefit in serving the population that needs to be served 24/7. So that's my input for now.
So Joe, I'm trying to figure out, or excuse me, Commissioner Gonzalez, but I'm trying to figure out, like, is there a cost? What the cost on this is? Where's the funding going to come from? I'm just not clear.
The funding right now, it comes from the hospital district.
So would this
They pay $3 million to MHID for the jail diversion only, right? That does not include the mental health. is the jail diversion. So, this is where the money will come from, you know. It might be an opportunity where the hospital district will probably maybe pay less, I don't know. We just don't know what's out there. We don't know who can offer what, until we put it out and see what the response is. Other than that, you know, we're gonna sit here and just wonder what's going on. And we're not knowing if we could have done better or could have done worse. But I think that if MHID, you know, is one of those that's gonna present, and they need to tell us how they're gonna improve the program. You know, and what they're doing. And I'm not too much in percentages, I'm more in numbers, you know. You can give me a percentage and I really don't care. You know, give me a number and I can tell you, you know, it's a good thing. But, you know, sometimes when you do percentages, it's really misleading to me, but I think we need to deal with numbers, so. That's the, I'm sorry, Commissioner, I wouldn't know we're bored in this one here, but that's where some of the funds, that's where the funds are coming from, it's the hospitals.
So basically, this isn't, this is just a request for proposal to see what's out there. The funding source is hospital district funding. This doesn't commit us to doing anything. This just commits us to seeing what alternatives there might be.
Right.
That, okay, and would this be replacing someone who now potentially is doing it? Which is, I'm not saying that's a bad thing either, I'm just asking.
It would be replacing, the MHID program, yeah.
Oh, okay.
So, but we're spending 4 million on the MHID program, and we're gonna replace them before we even,
The
yeah?
4 million is for the building.
Yeah, but we're not gonna use it?
No, well,
But that's for mental health, so that's mostly
Yeah, oh, that's
mental
for
health.
other things too, yes.
Right, this is
Right, yeah,
jail.
I mean, but I would say mostly for mental health.
And this would be contingent on the hospital district agreeing to move forward with this budget next year too. This is
Right.
not just up to our budgets. They have to.
Right, that's what I'm trying to get. So we're basically just wanting to see if there's a better way to do things. But the judge is right. So in theory, it could or could not, depending on what we get, replace what MHID does? Or,
Well, I mean, I don't know, it could not, I mean, we just wanna know if it can, I mean, if it can, then why not? You know, if it can't, you know.
they would submit a proposal too, potentially?
Sure,
Potentially.
sure, I mean,
Yeah.
it's open to everybody, I mean, it's open to anybody and everybody. You know, we're not gonna say because you have it and you can't submit one. So I'm saying, if they submit something, they need to come up here like everybody else and let us know, you know, what is their program and what are they gonna do different and what they're gonna, you know.
And do we have the authority to do this because, since it's the hospital district's funding, but we run the program? And so that's the authority in which we're doing it under, Commissioner? Is that what you're?
I think the authority is that, the hospital district, in conjunction with the commissioner's court, approval of funding this because we have asked them to do that.
So you're, okay. So would it be better then that the hospital district puts us, see, I'm not sure, I'm sorry, is this one of the deals that the hospital district pays us and then we pay for it, or do they just pay MHID directly?
They pay MHID directly.
So is the hospital district on board with this too? Because obviously it's their money.
Well, they help Michael put it together.
Oh, they did?
They did. I would maybe offer to the court, if we need to have further discussion from the hospital district staff, that we bring them in to provide that feedback if you have specific
Could we do it,
questions.
Joe, contingent upon approval by the hospital district board of this resolution?
Sure.
I mean, just to make sure, because it's their money, right? And I don't want to be.
Yeah.
Spending other
I don't
people's,
have a
that's
problem
true.
with that.
I don't have a
Yeah.
problem with that.
Would that be, okay, so maybe we would, and that would satisfy too what Michael's talking about is, so then if we could amend that motion and second to include a contingent upon hospital district, not moving forward until the hospital district approves it, or the hospital district board approves it, then,
Approve the idea of going out.
right. So then not to, does that make sense? In other words, it wouldn't go out until they voted on it, which I think they've got a meeting this month too.
The 26th.
Right.
Okay.
Okay.
So I mean, if that's the case, then if If that's okay with you, Commissioner, since that was your motion to amend it as
That's
such?
my yeah, that'd be fine, that's my motion.
Okay.
I
Chair,
know
is
we
that
have a
clear?
motion and a second already. Is there any other discussion?
On items like this, I mean, Commissioner, obviously, this is his priority, and I support it, but we need to make sure that, I don't know, I don't see all the names that are on the Zoom, but, you know, somebody from the hospital district needs to be here. I know that you're advocating on their behalf, but sometimes maybe that might help. So, once again, getting all the background that we can on this, I think is helpful. Commissioner, you're more than an expert on this group and remain close to their leadership there, but that might be helpful just so we don't get.
Yeah, I believe Johnny was
crossed.
traveling today and said
Oh,
he
was
was
he?
unable to attend.
Well, and I had a meeting with them with the other issue, and I think what they're wanting to move forward more doing, and I had a message that the hospital district pays the county and the county pays MHID. I think they would prefer to do everything in one deal with the county, and we take over what services we want to provide, was the conversation that I had with Johnny Hip and John Balls at the meeting the other day, yes.
Well, that would just need to be
That would just need to be verified and checked.
Oh, no, I mean,
yes.
they would
That's a
need to
discussion,
make
that's a
that
discussion
motion
for
too.
later.
Yes, so
Okay.
we have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed, same sign. Oh, sorry, Commissioner Gonzalez, did you say aye? I keep forgetting.
We,
Yes, sir.
See, I told you there's no I in team. Oh, on this one too, can we make sure, and Michael, I apologize, I meant to address this too. All these things that we're putting out, are we posting them on the website too? Bids, RFPs, RFQs?
Yes,
Oh, yeah.
every bid on the day that it's posted, it's posted on the county website and also on publicpurchase.com. And we provide a link on the county website for anyone who's interested to be able to click on that and make it to the publicpurchase.com site where they can gather the bid information and download it.
And that's on every bid we do?
On every
right?
single bid we do.
Okay, and every RFQ and RFP?
Right,
Okay.
and then in addition, on the ones that relate to ARPA, we also do an additional notification to the small woman-owned minority businesses as well, a list that we get from the state, depending on the category that we're putting the work out.
Since you brought that up, we had a phone call that the bank things were not, that this was not online. Was it online?
Purchasing does not
You don't have anything to do
this
with
process.
that. That's right. That's why it wasn't.
This is one of those, I think it's a separation of powers thing.
Who does that one?
Who does that?
It comes from I believe, the auditor's office and
No,
the
no, that's
treasury.
incorrect. It comes from the
Is it from the
Commissioners Court admin. And Treasury, right? Y'all work together?
All we did is give the specs.
Yes, you give the
the
specs and then
specs, but
they
there's
do
nothing to do with it.
and then Commissioners Court
Because
administration
separation
does.
of powers, treasury, we're not gonna.
So then the,
Yes.
So that was
is the policy of purchasing, is it a policy that
I don't think it's
or
a
do you just
purchasing
do it that
policy.
way?
I would have to defer to legal to find out what the origins of
And
that
that's not what this
was.
is about, so we'll drop the discussion
No,
and
no,
we'll ask later.
but it's good to know that,
yes.
because
Uh-huh.
that's good to know that everything that you do is online. I just didn't know if it was a policy or you just do it, but I mean, no, that's great. So then we need to,
And we also advertise in the Caller Times as well. That's how,
Okay.
no, right.
the
and-
official.
But we need to make sure that whatever county admin does, that they follow the same policies that purchasing uses to get these things out, because obviously that didn't get out to some of the institutions, which is kind of a bummer.
We got one phone call, yes.
I
But I was-
received a phone call too. I don't know if it's from the same.
And wasn't sure if it was my office, since they came to my office, but I wasn't even aware. Moving
I'll say
on.
Hey,
I'm sorry.
Michael,
Michael's already sat down, he's coming back.
Michael,
Yes, Commissioner.
Michael there?
Yes, I'm here.
Hey, I just want to thank you and your team, man, for all the work you put into it. Really appreciate it. And I know you had a timeline on this, but I really appreciate you and your team.
Well, I appreciate those kind words. We'll do the same for anyone that asks of those services for us. Our job is to serve the elected and appointed leaders of the county with whatever your goals are. So glad to help. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, bye-bye.
Did you have something, Teresa?
I just wanted to make a statement about the applications for the depository. We used the process that was done in 2017, and the applications are not online. They're hard copies that have to be picked up in our office, submitted hard copy to the judge's office because of all the backup and data and stuff that
We knew all
that
that.
goes
We were
with it.
wondering how
And
we
so-
get it out to people to know that it's up for.
The Caller Times, we publish it for 3 weeks.
In the Caller Times?
Yes, ma'am, and
That's
it's
the only
posted in the
place?
courthouse. The notice that we're going out for applications is published, it's in the front of the courthouse, and it's also published with the clerk's office.
Okay.
So, I mean, at the very least, we need to add to that. So whatever we need to do to add to that so that it's published in all those other places so that people get wind of it too, because not everybody reads legal notices in the Caller Times. And, I mean, if you're not a bank walking around looking on the front, so just to get it out.
Okay.
I mean, we
But
want to make
anything we
sure.
can do to
Just
increase
the
that, to
notice, I
make it
guess,
more.
Just the notice, but the
open.
application itself would be physical hard
Yes,
copies.
yes.
Okay,
Thank you.
Yeah, just a notice.
yes,
Right.
sir.
Yeah, thank you.
Moving on to item D1, approve the budget change order number 15 for fiscal year 2022-23. Lisa?
Good morning, Court. I respectfully submit budget change order number 15 for your consideration and approval. Most items are of a routine budgetary nature. Please note that the 347th District Court is requesting to utilize salary savings due to personnel vacancies and will cover the costs of the temporary with their salary, of that temporary cost with the salary savings generated from those vacancies. Also, both the county library and the law library previously had funding, submitted a budget change order for funding for the security system upgrades that were reallocated to the wrong budget category. This will reallocate the budget to the corresponding category that the actual expenses will be posted against. If the court doesn't have any additional questions regarding any of the other items on the budget change order number 15, we respectfully request your approval.
So moved, Judge.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any other discussion? Sorry. All those in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed, same sign. The motion passes unanimously. And now we are ready to go into executive session. Is there anything we passed that I need? We already took care of your one, yes. Executive session, public notice is given that Commissioners Court may elect to go into executive session anytime during the meeting to discuss matters listed anywhere on the agenda when authorized by the provisions of the Open Meeting Act, Chapter 551 of the Texas Government Code. To the extent there has been a past practice of distinguishing items for public deliberation and those for executive session, the public is advised that the court is departing from that practice and reserves the right to discuss any listed agenda items in executive session when authorized by law to do so. In the event the Commissioners Court elects to go into executive session regarding an agenda item, the section or sections of the Open Meetings Act authorizing the executive session will be publicly announced by the presiding officer. In accordance with the authority of Government Code, Vernon's Texas Codes 551.071, 551.072, 551.073, 551.074, 551.0745, 551.076, 551.086, 551.087, the Commissioners Court will hold an executive session to consult with attorneys, including matters related to litigation, deliberate regarding real property, prospective gifts, personnel matters, including termination, county advisory bodies, security devices, and/or economic development negotiations and other matters that may be discussed in an executive session. Upon completion of the executive session, Commissioners Court may, in an open session, take such action as appropriate on the items discussed in the executive. Item A, we will discuss and consider appointment, employment, evaluation, reassignment, duties, discipline, or dismissal of the animal care services manager pursuant to Section 551.074 of the Texas Government Code. Item B, consult with the county attorney and outside counsel on legal matters relating to cause number 220CV00263, David Longoria, individually and on behalf of the estate of David Johnson, deceased, versus Nueces County, Section 551.071. And 3A9, receive an update of the independent analysis of the Nueces County Animal Services Board and Department and related matters. That would be section 551.0745 of the government code. It is 11:55 and we are moving to executive. Thank you. Turn off the music, thank you. And it's 1:36, we're coming back from executive session. We just have one item that we need to address on it. On item A, I have a motion to reassign Juan Ramirez, the Animal Services Manager, to Inland Parks. He is currently at a pay grade 27, step 6, and changing to a pay grade 12, step 6. If I could get a second on.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed, same sign. Oh, I'm sorry, Commissioner Gonzalez, did
He's
you?
got his thumb up or something. I thought it was toe.
That's it, second.
Oh, okay. So we had the motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Thank you. Okay, the second motion is to appoint Commissioner Matas, or I guess we need a motion for this, to give them the authority, Commissioner Matas and Commissioner Gonzalez, to go out and find temporary contract labor for an acting director for that facility. And the direction of the Commissioners Court is that it has to be someone that is not currently involved with the Nueces County Animal Services Department in any way
So moved.
for that replacement.
Second?
We have the motion and the second. All those in favor, say aye.
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 Any
Aye.
opposed, same sign. Do we need to announce that you're going to also be, that we've tasked IDA to temporarily go out there and oversee that in there? Didn't we do that? No? Okay. She volunteered to just check on it.
I don't know,
Yes.
it was to Commissioner Morris' comment as well, so I don't know.
Yeah.
That's,
Do we need to make that into a motion?
That have to
or-
be a motion, or she's our court manager, so we're just giving her that.
Part of my
authority to go
job.
out and check. Yes. Okay, so now we would move to any adjournments in memory. I have one that was given to me from the young lady from this morning that I would like to read. Uriah Brianne Ruiz was born on October 25th, 2007. Uriah was known for her smile, kind heart, her beautiful dimples, and green eyes. She touched so many lives by providing guidance and understanding to everyone without judgment. She never knew how much she was loved and how much she impacted the lives she touched. She will be dearly missed. She was as beautiful as a butterfly, and now she has her angel wings. A visitation will be held from 10 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. on Monday, June the 12th, at Maxwell P. Doon Funeral Service, Yorktown Boulevard, where a celebration of life service will start at 12:30 that very same day, ending with an interment at 2:30 with Seaside Memorial Park. And we do send our condolences to that family and those team members who have grown up and played with her very much. Are there any other adjournments in memory? If
I
not,
don't hear any sound.
you don't have any sound? I'm sorry. Is that a motion to adjourn, Commissioner Gonzalez? Did I hear that?
Yeah, but if you can hear me, I couldn't hear you guys.
Okay. We have a motion to adjourn. Do I have a second?
Second.
A motion and a second. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. This meeting is adjourned. Thank you all very much.